Good morning, you guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you guys doing? I want to give y'all the opportunity to start coming into the room. Okay. How's everybody doing? Hey, John Anderson, Jeff, Gina. How's everybody doing? Tamara J, True Aquarius, Lee Letho, Lauren Michelle. Hey, Grayface. Hey, Shan, Two Chains, Sean, Jean, Dima, Pretty Brown, Jerome Davis, Miss Diane, Joy Loves God. You guys make sure y'all hit the like button as y'all come into the room. Holistic Wellness Hub, Kimberly. Did I say Lee? Cecilia. Are you guys doing okay today? Make sure you hit the like button. Hey, Frederick. Hey, Yam. Make sure you guys hit the like button as you come into the room, giving everybody else the just a few more people. And yeah, hit the like button. Hit the like button. I want to discuss this Jemarcus Johnson situation. Ciao. Okay. I know what the court brings for all three today. Listen, I just ran across this article. News Channel 3 just posted. Okay. And it says suspect in Youngdolph's murder to plead guilty. Jemarcus Johnson, one of the men accused of being involved in Youngdolph's death, intends to plead guilty Friday, according to his attorney. His attorney, Joshua Corman, told WREG he would plead guilty to being an accessory. An accessory after the fact. Johnson is also being charged with conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, according to officials. In May, Johnson's attorney said he hoped to have a disposition or an announcement on his client's case. Youngdolph's real name was Adolph Thornton Jr., was gunned down inside Makita's Cookies in South Memphis on November 17th. Two suspects, Justin Johnson, Cornelia Smith, were picked up by police in Indiana not long after. Authorities believe they were gunmen in the incident. Hernandez Govan was indicted for first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Shelby County's district attorney says Govan is the man believed to have ordered the hit. Govan bond was paid. So his attorney, according to his attorney, he's going to plead guilty in court today to accessory after the fact. Now, we know that I'm waiting to see what's going to happen with. Now, he did plead guilty the other day, not guilty the other day to conspiracy charges. I don't know. I just kind of feel in my spirit somehow, somewhere, those conspiracy charges, something is going to happen with that. I don't know. I know he has pled guilty to it. I mean, not guilty, but I don't know. I still think something could happen as it relates to those conspiracy charges. But his attorney told News Channel 3 that he was going to plead guilty. If I'm saying that right, I hope I'm not getting confused. He's going to plead guilty to the three counts of accessory after the fact today in court. And of course, he pleaded not guilty the other day, and I believe that was to the conspiracy to commit murder. So, Lauren says I got my popcorn ready. Y'all know I had to. I hope that they put some stuff out because I got to get out in these streets, and so I had to go live with you guys while I'm still available. I got my popcorn ready too. I got my popcorn ready too, you guys. And if I'm not mistaken, let me see something. In straight dropping, I'm supposed to be in court with him today. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hold on, let me see. Okay, let me see. Here it is, right here. I think Stray Drop's case got reset. I think his case was reset. That's what it's looking like. Let me see. Yeah, Straight Drop's case was reset. He had an early reset by his attorney. So Straight Drop is not going to be in court today. Hold on 1 second. Let me see about Cornelius. Hold on, you guys. I'm trying to pull up. I'm trying to see if Cornelius was reset also. Yeah. So Cornelius was reset. Cornelius and Straight Drop won't be in court today. They'll be in court next month. Their attorneys reset their on July the 14th. So, according to News Channel 3, Josh Corman said to them that he planned to plead guilty today. To the accessory after the fact charges. I don't know. I just think those conspiracy charges because I think in my opinion, I think the reason that he got they added charges is because it was something that he didn't want to give up. Now that's how I feel. You know, he told on himself, but I don't think he wanted to tell on somebody else or he wanted to recant some stuff, and so they hit him with some more stuff since he wanted to play. That's what I think. You know, hey Mario Johnson. Yeah, that's what I think. You guys, so it's gonna be interesting. Um I'm waiting for them to drop a video. Okay, so straight dropping Cornelius is July 14th and Govan is July 13th. Okay. Govan don't have court dates with any of them, because at first they were saying Govan. Remember, Govan and Jemarcus were charge partners. But I think Jemarcus was his attorney was trying to work to separate him from everybody else. So it's gonna be interesting this morning. I don't know. I just think that Jemarcus had the better card. I don't know. Um, I'm just gonna wait to see because he definitely had the better hand. Um, and court just started, so I'm sure they in there. Stepping in the name of God. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I just in my heart, I just believe, that he's going to I just believe somehow those conspiracy charges are going to dissipate. I hope he don't wait too late, but if I believe that they will cuz they was getting ready to anyways. Jemarcus was getting ready to get a sweet deal. It was getting ready to be sweet. I think I don't know what happened. I don't. All we could do is speculate because his attorney was working to get his case disposed of. And of course, we know with attorneys, they can't make you do anything that you don't want to do. Okay, because you're the client. But I'm sure because his attorney said everything was on the table. So somebody tried to recant or did not want to follow through with some situations. Um, he told his part. I truly believe he told his part and he got scared. Somebody got to him and he wanted to recant whatever statements he had given on other people. And that Kenny Money dropped a video at the house. I know I did a video on that yesterday. He dropped the video at the house. Y'all, excuse me. I'm trying to get a little hoarse and a little cold because I sleep up under a ceiling fan. um, oh, excuse me. But yeah, I did a video on that yesterday with Kenny Money and them. They went over to they was in Orange Mound at the house. They did a video over at Orange Mound at the same house that straight drop. The same house that the car was found behind, the straight dropping them did that video at. Jemarcus was getting a deal until they got straight drop phone. That could be it too. Ain't no telling what was in that phone. They've been real quiet about that phone. Probably to the point where straight drop's attorney has had to regroup again. I'm telling you, he making that man work. But he getting paid the big bucks by somebody. Yeah, Kenny is doing his thing. Yeah, I'm constantly checking to see what the disposition is. Cause shit, we got surprised on last week. We got surprised not last week, but the other day, because we thought that the conspiracy charges was gonna get thrown out and he was going to get a just accessory after the fact, which were the lesser charges, but instead he got charges added. And he looked stressed out. And this should be a lesson to a lot of these young dudes. Don't let people pull you into stuff and don't get into stuff that's going to stress you out. Jemarcus looks stressed. Absolutely 100% stressed out. You could tell he's lost weight He ain't like cornbread. He done lost weight since a month ago. Mario says, take your time, love. Drink some honey and hot tea. We don't want you to lose that beautiful voice. Thank you, Mario. Trust me, Miss T. Charges upgrade when new evidence arrives. That's true. That's true. I don't know. I think Jemarcus played himself. That's the reason why he's looking like that. He had the opportunity. He had the lesser charge. He could have, and he always had a bond. Hey, Pumpkin Pooh. Good morning. Yes, I'm watching now. They did say thus for a $300,000 bond per the news. It's gone up to $600,000. Yeah, his bond when he was arrested, before his bond was $300,000, and then now it's his $600,000. So they doubled his bond. The only one that look unbothered is cornbread. Make you wonder why. Cornbread eating. He don't give a damn what nobody say. He gonna eat and sit down there in that cell and sing. And they say he can sing and rap. Sing and write rap and rap. It says 201 jail conditions got him stressed to themselves. Ain't no joke. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna have to do better. I don't even want to talk about it. You guys, make sure you hit the like button. Hey, Hero Fix TV. Corn dog getting them fresh favorites. I wonder if he corn dog eating them fresh favorites every single day. Corn dog got some getting some money. Somebody ordered. People can order you off of their credit card food and have it sent. The money don't have to be on your book. They could order the food and have it sent. Ain't that something how they letting them live in jail now? A mind is a terrible thing to waste, I guess. Hey, Monica. You're right, Golden Era. They don't listen. I wonder why we haven't heard nothing about who gave drop drugs and they found. Hey, I'm wondering too, Terry. They keeping that. I'm trying to figure out why they. The only thing I could see is if they still investigating or something. But that is very peculiar. Mm-hmm. Hey, Jennifer. Normally a face would have been on the news, but absolutely a face would have been on the news. I don't know, Street Profit. I think so. I think he's going to. I mean, I wouldn't take my chances. He got to be crazy to take his chances when they would have dropped those conspiracy charges. That's what was going to happen. He got to be crazy to take his chances in front of Judge Coffee on those conspiracy charges. I wouldn't do it. I would not do it for nothing. ABC 24 just posted. Okay. Thank you, Kimberly. Let's see what's going on with ABC 24. Let's see what's going on ABC 24. I don't see it. Kimberly, I don't see it. I'm looking for it. Oh, you're watching Fox 13? Okay. Okay, Fox 13 is saying he's expected to plead not guilty also. Hold on. They're saying he's at okay.
And these are E felonies. Range 2 for an E felony carries 2 to 4 years incarceration. He's pleading guilty to all 3 counts of the information to those 3 E felonies, 2 to 4 years incarceration. He's also agreeing that when Your Honor sentences him, that all 3 of those sentences should be consecutive to each other. So Mr. Johnson is in essence pleading guilty to the court, open to the court, to a sentence that can range between 6 and 12 years when Your Honor sentences Mr. Johnson.
Yes, sir.
The parties are not asking Your Honor to sentence Mr. Johnson presently. We're asking Your Honor to delay the matter, to reset it for sentencing.
Yes, sir.
There are conditions of release pending sentencing that are outlined in a separate sentencing memorandum, which is filed with this guilty plea.
Yes, sir.
And at a later date, the state will request that Your Honor sentence Mr. Johnson. I've stated the facts at the start of the plea, so I ask for counsel to stipulate to the facts. I'll just very, very briefly, basically 2 or 3 yes or no questions asked to Board Honor Mr. Johnson during the guilty plea.
Yes, sir.
I'll ask Your Honor to accept the plea after that.
Mr. Corman.
And Judge, I believe that would be the evidence the state would present in the case going to trial. We do stipulate there's a factual basis, and we're going to ask the court to accept our negotiated settlement.
Mr. Corman, Mr. Harriman, thank you. Mr. Johnson, Jemarcus Johnson, come around, please, sir. Mr. Johnson, come up here where Deputy Chambers is. And once you get to the seal of Shelby County, put your left hand on the.
Hold on, you guys. Hold on. It's getting ready to come back up.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Hannah. Mr. Johnson, have a seat here on the witness stand, please, sir. Counsel approach, please.
Oh, so he's gonna take the plea deal. You guys, make sure you hit that like button. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the like button.
signature on the document, Mr. Hagerman. Thank you, sir. Mr. Jemarcus Johnson, good morning, sir. Mr. Johnson, what's your real name, sir?
Jemarcus Johnson.
You need to speak up a little bit louder. The court reporter has to write down everything you said. Of course, I need to speak up a little bit louder. You can take the mask down if you want to. Yes, sir.
Jemarcus Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, what school did you go to, sir?
For Wooddale High School.
How far did you get in school?
12th grade.
Did you finish the 12th grade? Did you ever get a GED, sir?
No, sir.
Can you read and write okay, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson, answer those questions because the law requires me to answer, okay?
Okay.
A couple of things, Mr. Johnson, you were charged by way of an indictment 2204769, charged with conspiracy to commit first-degree murder.
Yes,
So
sir.
that Class A felony carried anywhere from 15 to 60 years in prison. You're pleading guilty on a superseding information, I-23-00019, and charged with 3 counts of accessory after the fact. That's an E felony, carries up to 6 years in prison. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson, you have a right to have this charge submitted to the grand jury. When you enter a guilty plea on this information, you're waiving. You've given up your rights to have this case of accessory after the fact submitted to the grand jury. That case comes to court quicker when you plead on an information. The state will make you the best offer they will ever make on an information, but you're giving up. You're waiving your rights to have this case on an accessory submitted and reviewed by the grand jury. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you want to do, sir?
Yes, sir.
For the record, I will find that.
He sounds
Mr.
confident. Yes, sir.
Advise Mr. Johnson has a right to have this charge of accessory after the fact reviewed by a grand jury. If the grand jury found probable cause, they would indict him. If they did not find probable cause, they would no deal this charge. They'll find that Mr. Johnson has made that decision intelligently and knowingly. Mr. Johnson, I'm going to show you a document for the record. This is a petition for waiver of trial by jury and request for acceptance of the plea of guilty.
Thank you, Mario,
On
for
that
becoming a
right-hand
member.
corner where it reads defendant, did you sign that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson, all of your rights are above your signature. Those are your state and federal constitutional rights. Did your attorney, Mr. Corman, go over those rights with you and explain them to you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the rights that you waived and given up today, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jemarcus Johnson, you heard Mr. Paul Hagerman, the prosecutor, recent statements in court a few minutes ago. When you enter this guilty plea, when you enter this change of plea today, you're telling the court that if you had a trial on your case, the state of Tennessee would bring witnesses to court. Those witnesses would testify under oath. They would say things that are similar, that are consistent with what the prosecutor just read. You're telling the court, Mr. Johnson, that if the jury believed those witnesses, that jury would have enough reason to find you guilty of accessory after the fact. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You have an absolute right to have a trial on your case if you wanted one. You have a right to say, Judge Crawford, not guilty of anything, and I want a trial. Judge, I am demanding a trial. And had this case been tried, you would have a right to confront and cross-examine those witnesses against you. Say you have to bring those folks to court. You can look at them in person. They would sit right there on that chair on the witness stand where you're seated. Your lawyer, Mr. Corman, will question those folks to see whether or not they are telling the truth. If a jury did not believe those witnesses, or if that jury thought they were lying or mistaken, that jury would find you not guilty and I would dismiss your case. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Had you gone to trial in this case, Mr. Johnson, you would also have the right to present proof. You can put on witnesses if you wanted to. You can present evidence. You don't have to do anything at a trial ever. If you wanted to, and only if you wanted to, you can take that witness stand and you can testify. You can tell the jury what happened. You can tell the jury your side of the story. If you chose to remain silent and not say a single word, I would tell that jury they cannot hold it against you for any reason at all. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson, had you gone to trial in this case, if you had any witnesses that could help you, your attorney, Mr. Courtroom, would send them a subpoena and have them come to court and testify for you. If your witnesses didn't show up, or they just flat out refused to come to court, I would have those folks arrested by the sheriff. I would make your witnesses come in. I would make them testify. If I had to, Mr. Johnson, I would put them in jail until your case was tried. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Had you gone to trial and had a jury found you guilty of anything, you can appeal any conviction the jury gave you. You can appeal any punishment that I gave you. The Court of Criminal Appeals would grant you a new trial or even dismiss your case if that court found mistakes had been made in your trial. If you could not afford an attorney, I would appoint someone for you free of charge to handle your appeal. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jemarcus Johnson, when you enter this change of plea, when you enter this guilty plea, you waive, you give up all those rights. You ask this court to find you guilty without a trial. And Mr. Johnson, both sides are recommending that I do not sentence you today, that a delayed execution of these judgments is set this case for a sentencing hearing. And at that sentencing hearing, Mr. Johnson, you'll be sentenced somewhere between 6 and 12 years in prison. Now, is that the degree you have to stay in Tennessee, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson, you've been sworn to tell the truth. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Everything that you say under oath has to be true. If you do not tell the truth, the state could indict you for perjury. That carries
Demon,
up to 12 years in prison. You understand that, sir? Before I
social
continue with
media.
this guilty plea colloquy, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Hagerman has asked the court's permission to ask you some questions. You waive your right to remain silent when you enter this guilty plea. So listen to the questions that Mr. Hagerman asked of you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you answer those questions truthfully. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Because Hagerman in his mind said, Judge Coffey, we don't believe Mr. Jemarcus Johnson has been truthful. They're going to ask the court to vacate this guilty plea. It will strike this guilty plea, and your case will go back to the same status as was before this information was found. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Any questions, sir?
The Fed's about to start rounding them up.
Justin, we have talked before, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And when we talked, you told me about meeting with your half-brother Justin. He's your half-brother, is that right?
Yes, sir.
You told me about meeting with your half-brother Justin about a week or so after the murder of Adolph Jr., is that right?
Yes, sir.
You told me at that time that he gave you a car, is that right?
Yes, sir.
You told me at that time he also gave you his cellular telephone, is that correct?
Correct.
You told me that, or did you tell me that afterwards you used that cellular telephone at his request?
Yes, sir.
Did you describe to me a scenario in which you would place one phone up to another while Justin was on another phone for the benefit of his parole or probation officer?
He was called to get somebody's number, and I would put my phone down on the bed, and I put somebody else's phone right there and let them talk to each other.
And you told me about the times that you did that, is that correct? And you also described times not just with the probation or parole officer, but also with an individual known to you as C. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you now know that individual to be Cornelius Smith, is that right?
Sir.
And you described to me, and you turned this phone over, and in it were text messages with this individual C, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And some of these text messages, some of what you witnessed was conversation with regard to money that Justin would be getting to C, is that correct?
He asked for money, yes, sir.
As for money,
Yes, sir.
is that correct?
Yeah. He was asking for money for somebody else, from somebody else.
Okay, and that somebody else was referred to as Unc, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this would be money that C asked for from Justin that Justin was gonna get.
Oh my God.
Is that correct? You described all that to me.
Yes, sir.
You've also looked at some photographs that included one of your half-brother in a particular outfit, and you identified Justin Johnson, your half-brother, in the photograph.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that one day you may be called to testify in trial on this matter?
Yes, sir.
Did you tell the truth at that time?
Yes, sir.
Have you told the truth to me?
Yes, sir.
No further questions, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Hagerman. Mr. Corbin, you have any questions of Jemarcus Johnson?
No question. Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Marcus Johnson, the felonies that you pled guilty to, accessory after the fact, is a Class E felony. It carries anywhere technically from 1 day to 6 years in prison. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
You have agreed under what's called a hybrid guilty plea, State versus Mailer and Hicks, State versus Hicks, in which you're agreeing to plead outside of your range. You're not a range 2 offender. You understand that? In order to be a range 2 offender, you have to have 2 prior felony convictions. You don't have any felony convictions. You understand that? You can agree to plead outside of your range as long as it's within the range of punishment for that crime, that E felony, as long as you're doing that in your best interest. You understand that? So you agree to plead outside of your range as a multiple range 2 offender. That range 2 sentence will carry anywhere from 2 to 4 years in prison. And you've also
No,
agreed
I
that
don't
at your
think
sentencing
it's
hearing,
pre-op.
you will be sentenced to consecutive sentences on these 3 counts. So it's a minimum sentence of 6 years in prison to as much as 12 years in prison. Do you understand that, sir? You understand normally, unless you make that agreement, you cannot be sentenced to more than 2 years in prison. If they were right consecutive, it would be a total sentence of 6. Do you understand that? Mr. Johnson, once the court sentences you, you lose all of your rights to citizenship.
No, I don't think it's pre-op.
If you're
It's
sentenced on this
another
case, in order to serve the
that
sentence
be.
in prison, you've been convicted
I don't think it's
felony
pre-op.
conviction will be on your record forever. You understand that, sir? If you were sentenced to federal to a penitentiary sentence, even placed on probation, would have to render you infamous for the rest of your life. You lose all of your rights to citizenship. For instance, you lose the right to vote. You cannot vote until you completed that sentence. The right to vote was restored or given back to you by judge and circuit court or by a certificate from the Tennessee Department of Corrections. Do you understand?
Yeah, I don't think that they're
As
talking
a
about
convicted felon, Johnson, you could never serve on a trial jury. You can never possess.
He said,
you can never carry.
but
You can never buy.
I don't think he's
you can
talking
never
about
own any handguns, firearms, rifles, shotguns, pistols, ammunition, or even bullets. Mr. Johnson, if you had in your possession, in your hands, in your pockets, on a house or car or any other place, if you possess any firearms, if you have one single bullet in your possession, United States Prosecution Federal Court, unlawfully possessing a firearm as a convicted felon, you can be sentenced to federal penitentiary for a long time. If you possess any handgun or firearm, Tennessee can prosecute you for that. That carries up to 30 years in state prison. Do you understand that, sir? Sir. Again, you've been sworn to tell the truth, and everything that you say has to be true. You understand that, sir? Yes, sir. Do you have any questions about the rights that you waived, the guilty plea you entered, or this agreement you have with the state of Tennessee, Mr. Jemarcus Johnson? No, sir. Have any complaints about anything that Mr. Corman has done since he's been your lawyer, sir? Yes, sir. How long has Mr. Corman been your lawyer, Mr. Johnson? 8 months. Did he get this 7 months? Did he get discovery for you? Yes, sir. Did he let you know what the state would try to prove if you had a trial? Yes, sir. Did you have anything that you wanted Mr. Corman to investigate for you?
Yeah, he's not talking about
pre-arm. Do you have any complaints at all about anything that Mr. Corman has done or has not done since he's been your lawyer? Yes, sir. Do you also understand, Mr. Johnson, that part of this agreement, this memorandum, adopted by the parties, will be filed as a public record with your guilty plea? You're pleading guilty to those 3 counts of that information. You're also agreeing that you'll be sentenced as a range 2 offender, even though you are in fact only a range 1 offender. You understand that? You also are agreeing that those 3 felony convictions will be served consecutively to each other, one another, making that an effective sentence of minimum of 6 years as much as 12 years in prison. You've also agreed that the state of Tennessee has not made you any promises, no recommendations to your sentence other than they would detail to the court any cooperation and truthful testimony or statements that you have given that may have aided in the prosecution. As Mr. Hagerman just told you, if some of those other cases go to trial, Justin Johnson or Cornelia Smith or Hernandez Govan, if those cases go to trial, the state of Tennessee might actually call you as a witness. You understand that? You understand you waive your right to remain silent, and you could in fact be compelled to testify if those other cases are tried. You'll also be supervised by Shelby County Pretrial Services. They reporting all parties recommending that you be released on bond in an amount of $25,000. And once you make that bond, Mr. Johnson, you have to report to Shelby County Pretrial Services. They reporting. We'll file that order with this guilty plea also. You would have a curfew from 9 o'clock at night until 5 o'clock in the morning. You have to be at home every day, all day, until your case is disposed of, unless you are working. I want to encourage you to work. And if you are working, you have to provide the pretrial services proof that you are, in fact, working. Otherwise, from 9 o'clock at night until 5 o'clock in the morning, you have to be at home every day, every night. You understand that? You'll also be in order to enroll in any other programs that pretrial services deem either group programs, individual programs, such as random drug screens. You have to check in with these folks automatically, regular contact with the person who supervises bond. And you also cannot possess a firearm while this case is pending and while sentencing is pending. Do you understand that, sir? Do you have any questions about any of those conditions that we talked about? Mr. Marcus Johnson, when found for the record, the attorney, Mr. Joshua Corman, has represented you satisfactorily. I find that Mr. Corman and this court have explained all your rights to you. I find that you understand those rights and that you waived it. You've given up those rights intelligently and knowingly. I do find that there is a factual basis. There is a legally sufficient reason for this guilty plea, which has been entered freely and voluntarily. And upon you plead guilty to information I-23-00019, counts 1, 2, and 3, Class E felonies of accessory after the fact. Mr. Johnson, it is a judgment of this court that you are guilty. The court is going to delay the execution of these judgments. Will delay a sentence on this case until Ms. Corman, Ms. Mine, Mr. Hackman, do you have a recommended date for the next setting on this case?
I'm going to get about 45, somewhere between 45, about 60 days.
August 10th, Thursday, August 10th is the day for our Warriors.
That's a good day, Judge. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Judge, we're going to delay the execution of these judgments. We're going to delay the sentencing on this case to sentencing hearing on August 10th, 2023. Be back in this courtroom at 9 o'clock that morning, unless the date changes and stay in touch with the quorum in the case the date does change. But I'll see you back in court on August 10th, that's a Thursday at 9 o'clock that morning. Make sure you go to pretrial services on Tuesday morning. They will not be open on, they will be open on Monday. We won't be in court on Monday. Go to pretrial services on Monday morning, June the 12th at 9 o'clock. They're on the 8th floor in this building. One of the deputies will make a copy of the pretrial pretrial day reporting order for you. Take that with you. Go talk to those folks Monday morning at 9 o'clock. They will supervise this bond. Make sure you maintain contact with them. Make sure you answer those calls and those curfews, and make sure you submit to those random drug screens because that will be required as a condition of this bond. Stay out of trouble. Don't get yourself arrested again. Be safe. And I'll see you back in court on Thursday morning, August the, I think it's August 9th, Thursday morning, August 10th. Thursday morning, August 10th at 9 o'clock. Any questions, sir?
No, sir.
Mr. Johnson, step down from the witness stand and see you in 2 months, sir. Thank you, sir. Mr. Hagerman and Ms. Munn.
Yes, sir.
The indicted case 2204769, do you want to dispose of that today or carry it?
I'm sure we said that Sunday.
Madam Clerk, show the other case 2204769 set for report on Thursday, August the 10th.
If the Ms. Clerk could make a note that the bond that your Honor set covers both cases.
Oh, so they're getting ready to dispose that conspiracy to commit murder. They're getting ready to dispose that conspiracy.
The indicted case 2204769.
I told y'all something was in my spirit before I saw this. I said, I think something get ready to happen with that conspiracy to commit murder case.
Cover both cases. Anything else we need to address on this case?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Corbin, Ms. Miles, Mr. Hagerman, thank you all. Mr. Johnson, I see you on August 10th. It's out of trouble, sir. Be safe. We'll get that.
They letting him out, y'all.
Okay?
Getting out of
Thank you,
jail.
sir.
And they looking at disposing that conspiracy to commit murder case.
All right, for those of you who are just joining us this morning, that was a live look inside of Judge Coffey's courtroom, Division 7 in downtown Memphis today, as Jemarcus Johnson is pleading guilty to lesser charges in the shooting death of Youngdolph, aka Adolph Thornton Jr., who was shot and killed in November of 2021. Let's get to exactly what happened in court today. A few updates for you. The lesser counts that Johnson pleaded guilty to were 3 counts of being an accessory after the fact. The attorneys discussed that quite in detail. It was a little hard to hear in the courtroom because of the microphones there, but they described the use of a cell phone, a car, and even money. His attorneys actually argued that Johnson had no involvement in the shooting or the murder of Adolph Thornton Jr. They say that he was involved only after the fact, helping his half-brother, Justin Johnson, which is also one of the defendants in this case as well. Let's go through what we know so far when it comes to who Jemarcus Johnson is. This is actually his second court appearance this week. Again, pleading guilty to those lesser charges of being an accessory after the fact. Now, the indictments already told us that we knew Jemarcus Johnson allegedly helped his half-brother escape after the murder and even arranged payments to the other defendants. The DA's office announced days ago that this plea deal was on the table and Johnson took it. He is now facing what could be between 6 to 12 years in these counts per count. He is about 25, 26 years old. Johnson turned himself in for this crime in November of 2022, but he was also the 4th and final arrest that police made in this case. Let's take a look at the other defendants who are also facing charges. It's Justin Johnson, Johnson's half-brother, Hernandez Govan, and Cornelius Smith. Justin Johnson and Smith are both due in court today. We're going to keep you updated on those charges and what they're facing. Those charges include first-degree murder and criminal attempted first-degree murder. Govan is facing the same charges plus conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. But before we let you go, we do want to take a moment to remember why we're here. A young man was killed in the town that he grew up in South Memphis. That is Adolph Thornton Jr., aka Youngdolph. For many, he was a music star for the fans who loved him. But remember, Dolph was also a father and a family man. On November 17, 2021, Dolph was shot and killed at Makita's Cookies on Airways Boulevard. You may remember he was back in home in Memphis for his annual turkey giveaway before Thanksgiving. Police say that they were able to make the arrest based on several surveillance footage videos that showed the gunman outside. As we continue to cover the latest update in this Youngdolph murder case, we are going to keep you updated with all of these developments. Let's go right now. The lawyers are accepting and taking questions. Let's try and listen in.
To help Justin evade authorities and continue his flight from this crime. So he had a role in the conspiracy, but it was entirely, everything was after the murder.
Long live Youngdolph.
So we took that into account, as well as his truthful statements to authorities, and you have the disposition that you have today.
Can you talk about how this just gives more confirmation that you all have the shooters in custody?
Like we told you the first day that we're here for this case, Justin Johnson and Cornelia Smith were the shooters, and that's what they're indicted for. That case will get a trial date, hopefully relatively soon. You heard in court that this defendant had identified Justin Johnson in pictures, and you heard what he testified to in court and what we told the court, and I think those things speak for themselves.
And
So
just talk
one of
about
the-
Jemarcus Johnson to testify.
I couldn't hear you.
Do you expect Jemarcus Johnson to testify in the trial?
As we said in court, that's very high probability.
What day? Because I got lost in the mix right there. What day did you say Jemarcus Johnson actually took possession of the car and the cell phone?
About a week after the crime.
So how long has kind of this deal been in the works? And, was Jemarcus Johnson,
Always
immediately
love yourself. They already spinning.
helpful to your guys' investigation, or did that take a little bit of time?
Really can't comment on facts we didn't get to in court. I can say that he's been 100% helpful. And I can say that he turned over the cell phone, which is evidence in the case, and sort of leave it at that as far as time.
So one of the conditions of the.
Yeah, he turned over the cell phone.
Testify in the trial against the brother and against Mr. Smith. Is that right?
There's a good possibility that he testifies in a trial against his brother and Mr. Smith. He has to tell the truth. That's what this was guilty plea is hinged on. He has to tell the truth.
All right,
Do
so
we
you said
expect
that there was
anyone else
the,
to take a plea deal?
Couldn't comment on that even if I knew.
all right, so you said that there was the car, but the car was not the same one that was used in the murder. What car was
Correct.
that?
This is a different car that Mr. Johnson owned. Again, these are facts we didn't get into in
I
court. Other
told
than it was a
you.
different car, and his taking possession of the car aided in his brother's escape from law enforcement.
As well as the
What
cell phone,
happens to
correct?
that conspiracy
Correct.
charge now?
It's reset along with along with the cases for which he pled guilty. It's still pending the same day.
Could you break down the three accessory after that? We know the car and the phone, that's one. What were the other two?
There's three. So there's the car, there's the phone, and there's the fact that he used the phone for two different purposes. And that was to deceive the probation officer into thinking that Justin Johnson was still in Memphis when in fact he took flight after the crime to other places. And then using the phone to coordinate communications with Cornelia Smith.
So Jemarcus Johnson's the first
Told y'all
person
Cornelius was guilty.
charged to plead guilty or be convicted in this case. How does this help you moving forward with the other defendants in the case?
Well, I say litigation, especially on conspiracy cases where you have multiple players, multiple different people doing different things. In order to get those cases to trial and then get those successfully prosecuted, it's a little bit like chess. You got to set up your pieces before you start making moves.
So
And it's
And just
setting up a piece.
and just for
They
clarification,
making chess
Jemarcus
moves.
Johnson didn't receive anything.
Jemarcus Johnson, no, absolutely not. His only involvement in the case is what we just outlined to you. About a week or so afterwards, he took acts that helped his brother evade law enforcement.
A while back, Judge Coffey indicated that most probably these cases move at a certain pace, right? Said maybe not next year, the year after. Does this in any way accelerate?
I told y'all I was right about Cornelius. I told y'all.
We see the case like actually
Venetia, absolutely.
Maybe next year, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's going to depend on the other attorneys. It's going to depend on just when they're ready and what days we get.
What are Thornton's family's thoughts on this deal?
Mr. Blue has sort of been the family representative as far as coming to court. But we had a conference call with the family yesterday. They understand what this is about. And they're encouraged by the progress in the litigation. And ultimately, one day they want to see a trial on this thing. And they know this is a step toward that.
Is there a chance that he could serve just only probation and no prison time?
I don't want to comment on what his sentences could be because we haven't gotten there yet. We have to have a sentencing hearing and the judge will make determinations. He's pled guilty to 3 Class E felonies. The sentence is between 6 and 12 years. On E felonies, you're eligible to ask for diversion, probation, or whatever, but those are decisions for a different day by this judge.
So I just want to make sure that I'm getting this clearly. So each count of accessory after the fact, there's the reception of the property as one accessory after the fact, and then each usage of the phone is 2 different accessory charges.
So you got, what's important is you got 3 accessory charges in total. What those things are about taking receipt of the car and the phone and then using the phone in manners that help Justin Johnson evade law enforcement. He's pled guilty to all 3. He's agreed to be a range 2 offender, even though he's actually a range 1 offender. So he's agreed to a sentence between 2 and 4 years on each one, even though if he went to trial on those charges, he wouldn't get that much time. It would be between 1 and 2 years. He's also agreed that they're all consecutive to each other. So his total exposure is 6 to 12 years on the 3 charges, and sentencing is pending.
What did he agree to range 2 and not range 1?
It's a product of negotiations between the parties. It's not atypical.
One of the outstanding questions here is the motive for the actual killing. Can you discuss that at all at this point? Simply money or something else?
I can't comment on anything on the record. Can't remember whether or not our indictment gets into the motive or not. But I think there probably will be some information forthcoming about that sooner rather than later.
All right. I remember you said in there that he had said that he did see there was payment to Justin. Do we know where that payment is coming from, or who did he receive that from?
I can't comment on that. All right, everybody. See everybody.
All right, we were just listening in to attorneys representing the state. I believe that was Paul Hagerman describing exactly what will happen next in the few weeks to come. Also, that Jemarcus Johnson could possibly testify against his own half-brother and another defendant in this case, Smith. Of course, we will continue to keep a close eye on this case and continue to follow any new developments that we will receive. To keep yourself up to date on all of the latest, you can go ahead and download the ABC 24 News app for Apple and Android users. You can also text the word app to 901-321-7520, and we will send that link straight to your phone to download. We will have more details and more information for you today. Join us at 11 for midday.
Woo, child. What you think, Dima?
Girl, my lungs on fire. I done smoked about half a pack of cigarettes in 10 minutes.
I had just said, I was like, dog, I just feel like something is going to happen.
So they dropped the conspiracy then, and he's got the 3 accessories.
Dropping the conspiracy in August, I believe.
So now he's going to get sentenced per charge.
Yes. But he also said that they could ask for probation or something like that. You said he didn't want to say what Judge Coffey would do, but they could ask for probation on those charges.
Uh-huh. Woo, Lord have mercy. Thank you, Jesus. Dolph, justice is in progress.
I'm telling you. Lord have mercy.
I kind of feel like the case is finally moving along.
And for people who are talking about Unc, he did say Unc, but I don't think they're not talking about pre-Unc. If you've listened to another Memphis vlogger, they've talked about another Unc that that is affiliated with, I guess they will call the other side. I don't want to get too into that because he kind of spoke on that a little bit, but I'm sure the prosecutors and all of them already know.
Yeah, they know which Unc he talking
Yeah.
about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Big Head traveling the world, girl. I doubt if he come back to this. I don't think he coming back to the States no time soon.
That's right, new to you. I said I would never steer you wrong. I said if I can't lead you right, I'll at least try to keep you in the middle, but I never take you left.
He
I
pled
told y'all
guilty.
from day one Cornelius was guilty.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And you never spun no narratives or embellish the facts.
I
And
said,
come,
y'all, people can think what they want to. I said, but based on what I've been told now, I don't know how Cornelius gonna get out of this. I said that last year. I said, y'all don't know what was in those phones. I kept saying that when folks said, well, they say the phones was off. I said, yeah, the phones weren't off. They might have had them turned off, but they were not off. And even still, they can get hard copies of everything. So when Cornelius was talking about he was, when he was having those court dates and stuff, what was he trying to get? He was trying to get
bond.
I said Cornelius ain't going nowhere but back in that cell because he guilty.
And Paul just said Justin and Cornbread are the shooters. He just confirmed that again today.
Mm-hmm. You notice how vague he was about where that money came from? Oh, that got interesting to me.
Baby, look, they already know. And guess what? It's time to go on a sweeping tour. They about to go sweep. Yeah. And you see, you're right. It's a lot of things he didn't want to get into because he know there's a part 2 to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right, Ramona. Give it up, y'all. It's over with. And you know what? Hell, even though when I ain't gonna salute Dolph's hitters or people that was involved in his demise, but kudos. I'll say at least kudos to him for giving them 100%, being 100% helpful. Paul said 100. He was 100% helpful, not 50% helpful. He was 100% helpful. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm putting it on 13.
Y'all hit that like button if you haven't hit it already, and share the video and subscribe to Tamara's channel. Yes, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. God answers prayers. Prayer is powerful.
We just got a breakdown, more clarification as to the breakdown of those 3 counts of accessory after the fact he pled guilty to. This is what it's all about. He took possession of a car, he took possession of a phone, and then he actually used the phone. According to the prosecutors, he used that phone to help Jemarcus, Justin Johnson, his brother, facilitate payment to Cornelius Smith. Also, he deceived law enforcement as to making law enforcement think that Justin Johnson was actually in the city of Memphis, which he wasn't at the point in time. He was basically running on the run from police. Now, this is coming in just about 10 minutes ago. We just got out of the courtroom. As a matter of fact, right now we're waiting for Josh Corman, the attorney for Jemarcus Johnson, after this plea got accepted by the court this morning. This is actually also pinpointing some more evidence in this case because check this out.
Y'all hit that
According to
like
the
button.
prosecutors, Jemarcus Johnson actually picked his brother out of a lineup wearing the same clothes, according to the prosecutors, the day of the murder of Youngdolph. That possession of a car, just to give you a little bit more clarification in that, it's not the white Mercedes actually used in the murder of Youngdolph. It's actually another car. So we got a little bit more information into that. Now we're working right now
It
to
looks like
break
Jemarcus
down
just
this
let them pull
whole
him in there,
indictment right here that we just got our hands on. Matter of fact, about 5 minutes ago. So just reading through it and also getting a little bit more clarification as to these 3 felony offenses. Jemarcus Johnson, the half brother of Justin Johnson, also known as Straight Drop, just pleaded guilty to. So we want you to stay with us. We're going to continue to break this down. There's a lot of information, a lot of clarification coming out of today's court appearance for Jemarcus Johnson. I know this is very much so needed movement in this case. We saw a couple of weeks ago Hernandez Govan get out of jail with a $90,000 bond. Now we're seeing Jemarcus Johnson, another suspect in the Youngdolph murder case, possibly bond out of jail with a $25,000 bond. His bond reduced from $300,000 to $25,000. With this plea deal, he is now accepted. Now he has to go before the judge again to be sentenced August 10th for this plea deal, this guilty plea, as well as see the judge for that conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. That's still on the books as well. I want you to stay with us. We're going to continue to follow up on this story.
I thought they dropped that.
You knew that he might get out of have that bond reduced so he could get out and make some kind of plea deal.
Right.
And as Jeremy mentioned, he just got his hands on that indictment. He will be live again, breaking down more details in at Fox 13's news at midday at 11.
We thank you for joining us. And so, yeah, he'll have the latest for you then. The Sherry Shepherd show's next, and then midday.
Wow. Isn't that something? Today is a good day.
Somebody in the chat said that he picked Justin out of a lineup the same day.
Yeah, right. That's what they with the same clothes on.
Lord have mercy. So he been talking.
He been talking.
Ooh, girl.
I wonder, did he know what he was doing? They might have tricked him into doing it. Then, do you know who this person is? He said, yeah, Justin Johnson, that's my brother.
Wow.
When they was trying to get a identification on a definite identification.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I'm speechless.
I'm just waiting for, because that if he said Unc, he told him who the Unc was.
Yeah, I couldn't make out what he said at first, because I was gonna ask you to clarify what he had said, because I couldn't really make out what he said.
I'm trying to go back to where they're showing it live on their websites, because when I get it off of YouTube, they've started trying to strike it. Hold on. Let me see. I'm getting ready to find it though.
Ooh, gray face, shut your mouth.
What he said?
He down there, and I'm not gonna repeat it. I'm gonna let that be Memphis business. Because when I come down there to Memphis to visit, I don't want nobody trying to get on my head. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Okay, y'all, here it is. Starting from the beginning, I found it.
Hit it.
They said it was low in the beginning, so y'all have to listen very closely.
You got your volume up on it?
Mm-hmm. He didn't have his mic on. That's what they were saying.
Oh.
The lady from 24 was saying he didn't have a mic on.
As we told aware, the state now understands the exact participation of Mr. Johnson in the conspiracy with regard to the murder and cover-up of the murder of Adolph Thornton Jr., known as Dolph, in the community. Mr. Johnson Jemarcus Johnson, had no involvement in the homicide before the murder. He had no involvement in the homicide during the murder. His involvement was after the fact. About a week after the murder of Adolph Thornton, his brother, Justin Johnson, who in fact was one of the shooters and one of the killers of Adolph Thornton Jr., came to him and gave him certain property. A car, not the car used in the murder, but nevertheless a car that Mr. Justin Johnson had possession of, and a cell phone. Cell phones of particular importance because it was Justin Johnson's cell phone that he had during the murder and that he had used for some time before. This Mr. Johnson agreed to take possession of the car. He agreed to take possession of the cell phone. His taking possession of the cell phone and the car aided in Mr. Justin Johnson's continued evasion from authorities and his continued cover-up of the conspiracy. This Mr. Johnson also used the telephone. He used the telephone by his brother Justin would call the telephone and he'd place the telephone up to a new telephone and they would in essence trick Justin Johnson's federal probation officer into believing that Justin Johnson still had his cell phone and was still in Memphis, Tennessee, when in fact he had fled after murdering Adolph Thornton and was not in our community. He also did the same thing where he placed Justin Johnson's cell phone up to another cell phone and he facilitated a conversation. Again, this is over a week after the homicide, between his brother Justin Johnson and the other shooter of Adolph Thornton, Cornelius Smith. Mr. Johnson preserved the telephone and turned it over to authorities. He's spoken with the state and he's described the content of that conversation and the content of some text messages between Cornelius Smith and Mr. Johnson that included Mr. Justin Johnson trying to get money to Cornelius Smith after the killing. Mr. Jemarcus Johnson has given truthful statements to the state with regard to all those acts. Those are three acts of an accessory after the fact that did aid in the cover-up and this conspiracy. For those reasons, now that we understand those to be the facts of his involvement, now that he's given a truthful statement with regard to these things, he has also identified a picture of his brother Justin Johnson wearing
Tim, is that you?
the outfit of one of the shooters of Dolph just directly before the homicide. And now he's been 100% truthful. We're asking Your Honor to accept the guilty plea and recommendation in the case. There's also information that is before Your Honor. It has 3 counts. It's I-2300019.
What you say, D-Mon?
3 counts of accessory.
Was that you banging stuff? Was that the TV?
No, it was me. I walked away.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
I'm gonna put you on mute for a minute then. I was fixing a cup of coffee.
Okay.
He has no criminal history. He's agreeing by this guilty plea, which is open to the court, that he should be sentenced as a range 2 offender. These are E felonies. Range 2 for an E felony carries 2 to 4 years incarceration. He's pleading guilty to all 3 counts of the information to those 3 E felonies, 2 to 4 years incarceration. He's also agreeing that when Your Honor sentences him, that all 3 of those sentences should be consecutive to each other. So Mr. Johnson is in essence pleading guilty to the court, open to the court, to a sentence that can range between 6 and 12 years when Your Honor sentences Mr. Johnson. The parties are not asking Your Honor to sentence Mr. Johnson presently. We're asking Your Honor to delay the matter, to reset it for sentencing. There are conditions of release pending sentencing that are outlined in a separate sentencing memorandum, which is filed with this guilty plea. Yes, sir. And at a later date, the state will request that Your Honor sentence Mr. Johnson. stated the facts at the start of the plea, so I'd ask for counsel to stipulate to the facts. Just very, very briefly, basically 2 or 3 yes or no questions asked of Mr. Johnson during the guilty plea.
Yes, sir.
I'll ask Your Honor to accept the plea after that.
Ms. Corman.
And Judge, I believe that would be the evidence the state would present in the case on trial. We do stipulate there's a factual basis, and we're going to ask the court to accept our negotiating summons.
Ms. Corman, Mr. Hagerman, thank you. Mr. Johnson, Jemarcus Johnson, go around, please, sir.
I hate that he didn't have on a microphone.
And once you get to the seal of Shelley's comment, put your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand to be sworn, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give is false, the truth, the whole truth, and not but the truth to help you God? Sir, put your hand up, Johnson. I'll see you on the witness stand, please, sir.
He nervous too, ain't he?
Yeah. Got him wrapped up in this BS.
I know he hate to tell on his brother, but I wouldn't be able to go and do those type of years anyways. I hate he.
Yeah, but he got to do his time. Whatever it is. It's about
I don't know why
accountability.
it's so low.
Jemarcus Johnson, good morning, sir. Mr. Johnson, what's your real name, sir? Can you speak up a little bit louder to quote for you?
This one.
You're being said, of course, and speak up a little bit louder. You can take that mask down if you want to. Yes, sir. Johnson, what school did you go to, sir? How far did you get in school? Did you finish the program? Did you ever get a GED, sir? Can you read and write okay, Mr. Johnson? Mr. Johnson, answer those questions because the law requires you to answer, okay? A couple things, Mr. Johnson, you were charged by way of an indictment 2204769 to charge you with conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. That Class A felony carried anywhere from 15 to 60 years in prison. You're pleading guilty on the superseding information I-23-00019 to charge you with 3 counts of accessory after the fact. That's D felony, carries up to 6 years in prison. You understand that, sir? Mr. Johnson, you have a right to have this case, this charge submitted to the grand jury. When you enter a guilty plea on this information, you're waiving. You're giving up your rights to have this case of accessory after the fact submitted to the grand jury. That case comes to court quicker when you plead on the information. The state will make the best offer they will ever make on the information, but you've given up. You're waiving your rights to have this case on the accessory submitted and reviewed by the grand jury. Do you understand that, sir? Is that what you want to do, sir? Yes, sir.
Is there a channel that's playing the volume a little louder, Tim?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to
Can't
figure
hear
out.
this one. Yeah, this one is like
It's real low.
it was louder from the one you played off YouTube. Oh, Pretty says she can hear him. Okay, baby. Okay, pretty little killer.
Johnson, all of your rights are above your signature. Those are your state and your federal constitutional rights. Did your attorney go over those rights with you and explain them to you, sir? Yes, sir. Do you understand the rights that you waived and given up today, sir? Yes, sir. Marcus Johnson, you heard Mr. Paul Hagerman, the prosecutor, recent statements in court a few minutes ago. When you enter this guilty plea, when you enter this change plea today, you're telling the court that if you had a trial on your case, the state of Tennessee would bring witnesses to the court. Those witnesses would testify under oath. They would say things that are similar, that are consistent with what the prosecution read. You tell the court, Mr. Johnson, that if the jury believed those witnesses, that jury would have enough reason to find you guilty of accessory after the fact. You understand that? Yes, sir. You have an
Can you all, because it's very low on my end.
No, I can't hear it.
Can y'all hear it? They're saying it's low.
It is. And I got my
Right, let me find
phone up to
another.
my ears, stressing it.
Hold on, that's what channel 3. Let's see.
Judge Coffee told him, and be careful.
Let me see if I can find it live anywhere else. I might just to replay it. I could use the YouTube one. I mean, if they say something, I just take it out.
That's right, Golden Era.
Hold on, y'all. I'm looking for another one. Because the one on YouTube is low too. On channel 3.
About meeting with your half brother Justin about a week or so after the murder of Adolph Thornton Jr. Is that right? You told me at that time that he gave you a car. Is that right? You told me at that time he also gave you his cellular telephone. Is that correct? You told me that, or did you tell me that afterwards you used that cellular telephone at his request? Did you describe to me a scenario in which you would place one phone up to another while Justin was on another phone for the benefit of his parole or probation officer?
Get somebody number, and I would put my phone down on the bed, and I put somebody else's phone up there.
And you told me about the times that you did that. Is that correct? And you also described times not just with the probation or parole officer, but also with an individual known to you as C. Is that correct? And you now know that individual to be Cornelius Smith. Is that right? And you described to me, and you turned this phone over, and in it were text messages with this individual as C. Is that correct? And some of these text messages, some of what you witnessed was conversation with regard to money that Justin would be giving to C. Is that correct?
He asked for money.
That's for money. Is that correct?
Yeah. He asked for money for somebody else. on somebody else.
And that somebody else was referred to as Unc, is that correct? Okay, so this would be money that C asked for from Justin that Justin was gonna get from Unc. Is that correct? You described all that to me. You've also looked at some photographs and included one of your half-brother in a particular outfit, and you identified Justin Johnson, your half-brother, in the photograph. Do you understand that one day you may be called to testify in the trial in this matter? Will you tell the truth that time? Will you tell the truth with me? No further questions, Judge.
Before we have any questions of Jemarcus Johnson.
No question.
Mr. Jemarcus Johnson, the felonies that you pled guilty to, accessory after the fact,
Okay, y'all. I think I found one that's going to be louder. Okay.
To another cell phone, and he facilitated a conversation. Again, this is over a week.
Y'all can hear that one better, right?
Between his brother Justin Johnson and the other
Can y'all hear that,
shooter
D-Mon?
of Thornton, Cornelius Smith.
Yes.
And, preserve the telephone and turn it over to authorities. He's spoken with the state, and he's described the content of that conversation and the content of some text messages between Cornelius Smith and Justin Johnson that included Mr. Justin Johnson trying to get money to Cornelius Smith after the killing. Mr. Jemarcus Johnson has given truthful statements to the state with regard to all those acts. Those are 3 acts of an accessory after the fact that did aid in the cover-up and this conspiracy. For those reasons, now that we understand those to be the facts of his involvement, now that he's given a truthful statement with regard to these things, he has also identified a picture of his brother Justin Johnson wearing the outfit of one of the shooters of Dolph just directly before the homicide.
Wow.
Now that he's been 100% cooperative and truthful, we're asking Your Honor to accept the guilty plea and recommendation in the case. There's a criminal information that is before Your Honor. It has 3 counts. It's I-2300019. It alleges 3 counts of accessory after the fact for those 3 acts that I just described to the court: taking possession of the car, the cell phone, and then using the cell phone to facilitate those communications. Even though Mr. Johnson is a range 1 offender, he has no criminal history. He's agreeing by this guilty plea, which is open to the court, that he should be sentenced as a range 2 offender. These are E felonies. Range 2 for an E felony carries 2 to 4 years incarceration. He's pleading guilty to all 3 counts of the information to those 3 E felonies, 2 to 4 years incarceration. He's also agreeing that when Your Honor sentences him, that all 3 of those sentences should be consecutive to each other. So Mr. Johnson is in essence pleading guilty to the court, open to the court, to a sentence that can range between 6 and 12 years when Your Honor sentences Mr. Johnson.
Sir.
The parties are not asking Your Honor to sentence Mr. Johnson presently. We're asking Your Honor to delay the matter, to reset it for sentencing.
Yes, sir.
There are conditions of release pending sentencing that are outlined in a separate sentencing memorandum, which is filed with this guilty plea.
Yes, sir.
And at a later date, the state will request that.
So he'll be out today.
Mr. Johnson. I've stated the facts at the start.
They dropped his bond to 25,000.
The facts. I'll just very, very briefly, basically 2 or 3 yes or no questions asked of Your Honor, Mr. Johnson, during the guilty plea.
Yes, sir.
I'll ask Your Honor to accept the plea after that.
Ms. Corman.
And Judge, I believe that would be the evidence the state would present in the case gone to trial. We do stipulate there's a factual basis, and we're going to ask the court to accept our negotiated settlement.
Corman, Mr. Harry, thank you. Mr. Johnson, Jemarcus Johnson, come around, please, sir. Johnson, come up here where Deputy Chambers is. And once you get to the seal of Shelby County, put your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand to be sworn, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give this call to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Thank you, sir. Put your hand up, Mr. Johnson. Have a seat here on the witness stand, please, sir.
Thank you, Ashley, for the cash out.
Council approach, please.
Yeah, this is Good Friday. Today is Good
I'm sorry, I
Friday.
got stuck in.
Yes, sir. Deputy Chambers. Yes, sir. Need your signature, Ms. Bond's signature on the document, Mr. Hagerman. Thank you, sir. Mr. Jemarcus Johnson, good morning, sir. Mr. Johnson, what's your real name, sir? Can you speak up a little bit louder? The court reporter here has to write down everything you said. Of course, I need to speak up a little bit louder. You can take the mask down if you want to. Okay. Yes, sir.
Jemarcus Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, what school did you go to, sir?
I went to Wooddale High School.
How far did you get in school?
12th grade.
Did you finish the 12th grade?
No, sir.
Did you ever get a GED, sir?
No, sir.
Can you read and write okay, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson, answer those questions because the law requires me to answer, okay?
Okay.
A couple of things, Mr. Johnson. You were charged by way of an indictment 2204769, a charge with conspiracy to commit first-degree murder.
Yes, sir.
That Class A felony carried anywhere from 15 to 60 years in prison. You're pleading guilty on the superseding information I-23-00019, a charge with 3 counts of accessory after the fact. That's an E felony, carries up to 6 years in prison. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson have a right to have this case, this charge submitted to the grand jury. When you enter a guilty plea on this information, you're waiving, you're giving up your rights to have this case of the accessory after the fact submitted to the grand jury. That case comes to court quicker when you plead on that information. The state will make you the best offer they will ever make on that information, but you're giving up, you're waiving your rights to have this case on an accessory submitted and reviewed by the grand jury. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you want to do, sir?
Yes, sir.
For the record, I will find that Mr. Corman in this court have advised Mr. Johnson has a right to have this charge of accessory after the fact reviewed by a grand jury. If the grand jury found probable cause, they would indict him. If they did not find probable cause, they would no deal this charge. No finding Mr. Johnson has made that decision intelligently and knowingly. Mr. Johnson, I'm going to show you a document for the record. This
Thank you,
is
Sherry,
a
for the
petition
cash app.
for waiver of trial by jury and request for acceptance of a plea of guilty. On that bottom right-hand corner where it reads defendant, did she sign that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson, all of your rights are above your signature, those are your state and your federal constitutional rights. Did your attorney, Mr. Corman, go over those rights with you and explain them to you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the rights that you're waiving and giving up today, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jemarcus Johnson, you heard Mr. Paul Hagerman, the prosecutor, recent statements in court a few minutes ago. When you enter this guilty plea, when you enter this change of plea today, you're telling the court that if you had a trial on your case, the state of Tennessee would bring witnesses to court. Those witnesses would testify under oath. They would say things that are similar, that are consistent with what the prosecutor just read. You're telling the court, Mr. Johnson, that if the jury believed those witnesses, that jury would have enough reason to find you guilty of accessory after the fact. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You have an absolute right to have a trial on your case if you wanted one. You have rights to Judge Crawford not guilty of anything, and I want a trial. Judge, I am demanding a trial. And had this case been tried, you would have a right to confront and cross-examine those witnesses against you. So you would have to bring those folks to court. You can look at them in person. They would sit right there on that chair on the witness stand where you're seated. Your lawyer, Mr. Corman, would question those folks to see whether or not they are telling the truth. If a jury did not believe those witnesses, or if that jury thought they were lying or mistaken, that jury would find you not guilty and I would dismiss your case. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Had you gone to trial in this case, Mr. Johnson, you would also have the right to present proof. You can put on witnesses if you wanted to. You can present evidence. You don't have to do anything at a trial ever. If you wanted to, and only if you wanted to, you can take that witness stand and you can testify. You can tell the jury what happened. You can tell the jury your side of the story. If you chose to remain silent and not say a single word, I would tell that jury they cannot hold it against you for any reason at all. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson, had you gone to trial in this case, if you had any witnesses that could help you, your attorney, Mr. Corman, would send them a subpoena and have them come to court and testify for you. If your witnesses didn't show up, or they just flat out refused to come to court, I would have those folks arrested by the sheriff. I would make your witnesses come in. I would make them testify. And if I had to, Mr. Johnson, I would put them in jail until your case was tried. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Had you gone to trial and had a jury found you guilty of anything, you can appeal any conviction the jury gave you. You can appeal any punishment that I gave you. The Court of Criminal Appeals would grant you a new trial or even dismiss your case if that court found mistakes had been made in your trial. If you could not afford an attorney, I would appoint someone for you free of charge to handle your appeal. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jemarcus Johnson, when you enter this change of plea, when you enter this guilty plea, you waive, you give up all those rights. You ask this court to find you guilty without a trial. And Mr. Johnson, both sides are recommending that I do not sentence you today, that a delayed execution of these judgments is set this case for a sentencing hearing. And at that sentencing hearing, Mr. Johnson, you'll be sentenced somewhere between 6 and 12 years in
Thanks,
prison.
Tanya.
Now, is that the agreement you have to state in Tennessee, sir?
On the super sticker.
Mr. Johnson, you've been sworn to tell the truth. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Everything that you say under oath has to be true. If you do not tell the truth, the state could indict you for perjury. That carries up to 12 years in prison. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Before I continue with this guilty plea colloquy, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Hagerman has asked the court's permission to ask you some questions. You waive your right to remain silent when you enter this guilty plea. So listen to the questions that Mr. Hagerman asked of you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you answer those questions truthfully. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
If Mr. Hagerman and Ms. Mond said, Judge Coffey, we don't believe Mr. Jemarcus Johnson has been truthful, they're going to ask the court to vacate this guilty plea, will strike this guilty plea, and your case will go back to the same status as was before this information was found. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Any questions, sir?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Hagerman, you may proceed,
Thank
sir.
you. Be truly grateful for the for the super sticker.
Yes, sir.
And when we talked, you told me about meeting with your half-brother, Justin. He's your half-brother, is that right?
Yes, sir.
You told me about meeting with your half-brother, Justin, about a week or so after the murder of Adolph Thornton Jr., is that right?
Yes, sir.
You told me at that time that he gave you a car, is that right?
Yes, sir.
You told me at that time he also gave you his cellular telephone, is that correct?
Correct.
You told me that, or did you tell me that afterwards you used that cellular telephone at his request?
Yes, sir.
Did you describe to me a scenario in which you would place one phone up to another while Justin was on another phone for the benefit of his parole or probation officer?
He was called to get somebody's number, and I would put
It's
my
even.
phone
Thank you
down
for the
on
cash
bed, and
out.
I put somebody's phone like that.
And you told me about the times that you did that, is that correct?
Anybody see your
You
site?
also described times not just with the probation or parole officer, but also with an individual known to you as C.
Mm.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you now know that individual to be Cornelius Smith, is that
Yes,
right?
sir.
And you described to me, and you turned this phone over, and in it were text messages with this individual C, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And some of these text messages, some of what you witnessed was conversation with regard to money that Justin would be getting to C, is that correct?
He asked for money. Yes, sir.
Asked for money,
Yes, sir.
is that correct?
Yeah. He was asking money from somebody else,
Okay, and that somebody else was referred to as Unc, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this would be money that C asked for from Justin that Justin was gonna get from Unc.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct? You described all that to me.
Yes, sir.
You also
So
looked
Cornelius
at
asked for
photographs
money
that
from
included
Justin
one of your
Johnson that he was
half-brother, in
supposed to get from
particular,
somebody
how
named
you
Unc.
identified Justin Johnson, your half-brother, in the photograph.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that one day you may be called to testify on trial on this matter?
Yes, sir.
You tell the truth that time?
Yes, sir.
You told the truth with me?
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Tanya.
No further questions, Judge.
Ms. Hagerman, Mr. Courtroom, you have any questions of Jemarcus Johnson?
No question. Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Jemarcus Johnson, the felonies that you pled guilty to, accessory after the fact is Class E felony. It carries anywhere technically from 1 day to 6 years in prison. You understand that, sir? You have agreed under what's called a hybrid
Thank you, Paula.
State versus Mailer and Hicks, State versus Hicks, in which you're agreeing to plead outside of your range. You're not a range 2 offenders. You understand that? In order to be a range 2 offender, you have to have 2 prior felony convictions. You don't have any felony convictions. You understand that? You can agree to plead outside of your range as long as it's within the range of punishment for that crime, that E felony, as long as you're doing that in your best interest. You understand that? So you're agreeing to plead outside of your range as a multiple range 2 offender. And that range 2 sentence will carry anywhere from 2 to 4 years in prison. And you have also agreed that at your sentencing hearing, you will be sentenced to consecutive sentences on these 3 counts. So it's a minimum sentence of 6 years in prison to as much as 12 years in prison. Do you understand that, sir? You understand normally, unless you make that agreement, you cannot be sentenced to more than 2 years in prison. If they were run consecutive, it would be a total sentence of 6. Do you understand that? Mr. Johnson, once the court sentences you, you lose all of your rights to citizenship. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
If you're sentenced on this case, in order to serve this sentence in prison, you'll be a convicted felon. That felony conviction will be on your record forever. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
If you were sentenced to penitentiary sentence, even placed on probation, I would have to render you infamous. For the rest of your life, you lose all of your rights to citizenship. For instance, you lose the right to vote. You cannot vote until you completed that sentence, and the right to vote was restored or given back to you by a judge, a circuit court, or by a certificate from the Tennessee Department of Corrections. Do you understand that, sir? As a convicted felon, Mr. Johnson, you can never serve on a trial jury. You can never possess, you can never carry, you can never buy, you can never own any handguns, firearms, rifles, shotguns, pistols, ammunition, or even a bullet. Mr. Johnson, if you had in your possession, in your hands, in your pockets, on a house or car or any other place, if you possess any firearms, if you have one single bullet in your possession, the United States prosecution federal court unlawfully possessing a firearm as a convicted felon, you can be sentenced to federal penitentiary for a long time. If you possess any handgun or firearm, Tennessee can prosecute you for that. That carries up to 30 years in state prison. Do you understand that, sir? And again, you've been sworn to tell the truth, and everything that you say has to be true. You understand that, sir? Do you have any questions about the rights that you waived, the guilty plea you entered, or this agreement you have with the state of Tennessee, Mr. Jemarcus Johnson?
No, sir.
Have any complaints about anything that Mr. Corman has done since he's been your lawyer, sir? How long has Mr. Corman been your lawyer, Mr. Johnson? Did he get this 7 months? Did he get discovery for you?
Yes, sir.
Did he let you know what the state would try to prove if you had a trial?
Yes, sir.
Did you have anything that you wanted Mr. Corman to investigate for you?
No, sir.
Do you have any complaints at all about anything that Mr. Corman has done or has not done since he's been your lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Do you also understand, Mr. Johnson, that part of this agreement, this memorandum, adopted by the parties, will be filed as a public record with your guilty plea? You're pleading guilty to those 3 counts in that information. You're also agreeing that you be sentenced as a range 2 offender, even though you are in fact only a range 1 offender. You understand that? You also are agreeing that those 3 felony convictions will be served consecutively to each other or one another, making that an effective sentence of minimum of 6 years to as much as 12 years in prison. You've also agreed that the state of Tennessee has not made you any promises, no recommendations to your sentence other than they will detail to the court any cooperation and truthful testimony or statements that you have given that may have aided in the prosecution. As Mr. Hagerman just told you, if some of those other cases go to trial, Justin Johnson or Cornelia Smith or Hernandez Oban, if those cases go to trial, the state of Tennessee might actually call you as a witness. You understand that? You understand you waive your right to remain silent, and you could in fact be compelled to testify if those other cases are tried. You'll also be supervised by Shelby County Pretrial Services. They reporting both parties, all parties recommending that you be released on bond in an amount of $25,000. And once you make that bond, Mr. Johnson, you have to report to Shelby County Pretrial Services. They reporting. We'll file that order with this guilty plea also. You would have a curfew from 9 o'clock at night until 5 o'clock in the morning. You have to be at home every day, all day until your case is disposed of, unless you are working. I want to encourage you to work. And if you are working, you have to provide to pretrial services proof that you are in fact working. Otherwise, from 9 o'clock at night until 5 o'clock in the morning, you have to be at home every day, every night. You understand that? You'll also be ordered to enroll in any other programs that pretrial services deem either group programs or individual programs, such as random drug screens. You have to check in with these folks automatically, regular contact with the person who supervises bond. And you also cannot possess a firearm while this case is pending and while sentencing is pending. Do you understand that, sir? Yes, sir. You have any questions about any of those conditions that we talked about? Mr. Marcus Johnson, when found for the record, the attorney
Thank you,
Joshua
John.
Foreman
I
has
love my
represented you
3 for
satisfactorily.
$2.99
I
super
find that
sticker.
Mr.
I
Foreman
appreciate
and this
that.
court have explained all your rights to you. I find that you understand those rights and that you waived it. You've given up those rights intelligently and knowingly. I do find that there is a factual basis. There is a legally sufficient reason for this guilty plea, which has been entered freely and voluntarily. And upon your plea of guilty to information I-23-00019, counts 1, 2, and 3, Class E felonies of accessory after the fact. Mr. Johnson, it is the judgment of this court that you are guilty. The court is going to delay the execution of these judgments. Will delay a sentence on this case until Ms. Foreman, Ms. Mine, Mr. Hagman, we have a recommended date for the next setting on this case.
We get about 45, somewhere between 45 about 60 days.
For 60 days is August 10th, Thursday, August 10th is the day for all lawyers.
That's a good day, Judge.
Yes, sir. Judge, we're going to delay the execution of these judgments. We're going to delay the sentencing of this case to the sentencing hearing on August 10th, 2023. Be back in this courtroom at 9 o'clock that morning, unless that date changes and stay in touch with the court in the case the date does change. But I'll see you back in court on August 10th, that's a Thursday at 9 o'clock that morning. Make sure you go to pretrial services on Tuesday morning. They will not be open on, they will be open on Monday. We won't be in court on Monday. Go to pretrial services on Monday morning, June the 12th at 9 o'clock.
Thank
They're on
you,
the
Kim
8th
Bleed,
floor in
for
this
the
building.
cash app.
One of the deputies will make a copy of the pretrial
I'll kiss the
service,
baby for you.
pretrial day reporting order for you. Take that with you. Go talk to those folks Monday morning at 9 o'clock. They will supervise his bond. Make sure you maintain contact with them. Make sure you answer those calls and those curfews. And make sure you submit to those random drug screens because that will be required as a condition of his bond. Stay out of trouble. Don't get yourself arrested again. Be safe. And I'll see you back in court on Thursday morning, August the,
Hey, my Capricorn.
I think it's August,
Pretty
Thursday
little
morning,
killer,
August 10th.
grateful.
Thursday morning, August 10th at 9 o'clock. Any questions, sir? No, sir. Ms. Johnson, step down from the witness stand and see you in 2 months, sir. Thank you, sir. Ms. Hagerman and Ms. Munn. The indicted
His family
case
in court, his family told him
2204769, do you want to dispose
he
of that
better
today or
make,
carry it?
I'm sure his family talked to him.
Madam Clerk, show the other case 220476.
He's stretching.
Yeah,
On
his
Thursday.
family back there
August
supporting him, looked like a pastor back there.
If the, Ms. Clerk could make a note that the bond that you're under set covers both cases.
They said he just told the opposite check-in date.
The bond, $25,000 covers all this case, the information case, and the indicted case 220476. Now, I don't know what the bond was on that case, but show the bond.
The only thing I can say is
global bond of
God,
$25,000.
he a hedge of protection around it.
Anything else we need to address on this
The right
case?
thing. I know it's to save himself.
Ms. Corbin, Ms. Mine, Mr.
Didn't
Hagerman,
shoot
thank
him.
you all.
Didn't kill dog.
Mr. Johnson, I see you on August 10th. Sound control, sir. Be safe. We'll get that contact order to you in a few
So that he
minutes,
can
okay?
get back to
Thank you,
court
sir.
and help to bring the case home.
Wow, a lot just happened there.
Mhm.
Jemarcus Johnson had been charged with accessory to murder in the case of Youngdolph. So he just pleaded guilty to 3 lesser counts.
Right.
And they're more conspiracy counts for taking a phone and a car from his half-brother, Justin Johnson. And it was interesting, the 3rd count is for using that phone to, I guess, defraud the probation officer, make them think that Justin Johnson, the other suspect, was still in town.
Right, helping them communicate with others here as well. And so you just heard that there, as we've been showing you this all of the past, I don't know what's been now, 30 minutes, this hearing. And the takeaway is we have this one suspect who now, as the prosecution has mentioned, was someone who came into the Youngdolph murder after the fact, saying that he had no involvement in the homicide before the murder, during the murder, but that he came afterward, which is why he came in and pled guilty on these 3 lesser charges of after the fact.
Yeah, and it sounded like they reduced his bond. We're going to confirm that with Jeremy Pierre, who is in the courtroom right now. It sounded like that because it was $300,000 before.
Mhm.
It sounded like they said $25,000 bond. So we're going to double check that, and we'll have Jeremy live. But it's interesting too. They said when he had Justin Johnson's phone, and Justin Johnson and Cornelia Smith are both charged with being the triggermen in the murder of Youngdolph. He said somebody named C, and he identified him as Cornelia Smith, asked for money from Justin from somebody called Unc. And a lot happening there. He'll clearly will testify against his half brother and others. We're told they're about to interview the assistant district attorney. Are we going to take that?
Okay. So just a little more here. The latest wrap up of this is that he's pled guilty to Jemarcus Johnson to those three. While we get that interview ready for you, to three. Oh, we do have it up. Okay.
This is Paul Hagerman. He's the assistant district attorney who's been spearheading this case. We have our cameras there right now. He's waiting for us to we'll ask some questions. We'll find out about that bond for Jemarcus Johnson, the half brother of Justin. Let's listen.
Conspiracy cases as the litigation proceeds, that you
Thank
figure
you,
out
Jacob,
more and more and get a
for the
clear
cash
picture,
out.
more and more of what each individual did in this conspiracy. With regard to Jemarcus Johnson, as we announced in court, he had no role in the murder of Dolph before it happened. He had no role in the murder of Dolph when it happened. It was about a week or so after the murder of Dolph that he met with his brother, Justin Johnson, who is alleged to be one of the shooters. And he was given certain property, a car and a cellular telephone. And Jemarcus used a cellular telephone in connection with Justin to help Justin evade authorities and continue his flight from this crime. So he had a role in the conspiracy, but it was entirely everything was after happened. So we took that into account, as well as his truthful statements to authorities, and you have the disposition that you have today.
Can you talk about how this just gives more confirmation that you all have the shooters in custody?
Like we told you the first day that we're here for this case, Justin Johnson and Cornelia Smith were the shooters, and that's what they're indicted for. That case will get a trial date, hopefully relatively soon. You heard in court that this defendant had identified Justin Johnson in pictures, and you heard what he testified to in court and what we told the court. And I think those things speak for themselves.
Do you expect Jemarcus Johnson to testify?
I couldn't hear you.
Do you expect Jemarcus Johnson to testify if there's a trial in this case?
As we said in court, that's very high probability.
What day? Because I got lost in the mix right there. What day did you say Jemarcus Johnson actually took possession of the car and the cell phone?
About a week after the crime.
So how long has kind of this deal been in the works? And, was Jemarcus Johnson, immediately helpful to your guys' investigation, or did that take a little bit of time?
Really can't comment on facts we didn't get to in court. I can say that he's been 100% helpful, and I can say that he turned over the cell phone, and which is evidence in the case, and sort of leave it at that as far as timing.
So one of the conditions of the plea deal is that he testified in the trial against his brother and against Mr. Smith. Is that right?
There's a good possibility that he testifies in the trial against his brother and Mr. Smith. There is he has to tell the truth. That's what this guilty plea is hinged on. He has to tell the truth.
All right, so you said that there was
anyone else to take a plea deal?
Couldn't comment on that even if I didn't.
All right, so you said that there was the car, but the car was not the same one that was used in the murder. What car was that?
This is a different car than Mr. Johnson owned. Again, these are facts we didn't get into in court, other than it was a different car, and his taking possession of the car aided in his brother's escape from law enforcement.
As well as the cell
What
phone,
happens to that conspiracy charge now?
It's reset along with these, along with the cases for which he pled guilty. It's still pending the same day.
Could you break down the three accessory after the fact? We know the car and the phone, that's one. What were the other two?
There's three. So there's the car, there's the phone, and there's the fact that he used the phone for two different purposes. And that was to deceive the probation officer into thinking that Justin Johnson was still in Memphis when in fact he took flight after the crime to other places. And then using the phone to coordinate communications with Cornelia Smith.
So Jemarcus Johnson is the first person charged to plead guilty or be convicted in this case. How does this help you moving forward with the other defendants in the case?
Well, I say litigation, especially on conspiracy cases where you have multiple players, multiple different people doing different things. In order to get those cases to trial,
different
get
people
those
doing different
successful,
things.
prosecutors, a little bit like chess. You got to set up your thesis before you start making moves.
So
And
it
it's,
And just for
Setting up the pieces.
and just for clarification, Jemarcus Johnson didn't receive any payment.
Jemarcus Johnson, no, absolutely not. His only involvement in the case is what we just outlined to you. About a week or so afterwards, he took acts and helped his brother evade law enforcement.
Thank
Somebody
you,
back there
Tanya
with
G, for the cash
Judge
out.
Coffey indicated that most probably these cases move at a certain pace, right? He said maybe not next year, the year after. Does this in any way accelerate? Could we see the case like actually come to court sooner? Maybe next year, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's going to depend on the other attorneys. It's going to depend on just when they're ready and what dates we get.
What are Thornton's family's thoughts on this deal here?
Mr. Blue has sort of been the family representative as far as coming to court, but we had a conference call with the family yesterday. They understand what this is about, and they're encouraged by the progress in litigation, and ultimately one day they want to see a trial of this thing, and they know this is a step toward that.
Is there a chance that he could serve just only probation and no prison time?
I don't want to comment on what his sentences could be because we haven't gotten there yet. We have to have a sentencing hearing and the judge will make determinations. He's pled guilty to 3 Class E felonies. The sentence is between 6 and 12 years. On E felonies, you're eligible to ask for diversion, probation, or whatever, but those are decisions for a different day.
Y'all hit that like button.
So I just want to make sure
It's
that I'm
only
getting this
119
clearly.
likes, y'all.
So
Run the likes
each
up.
count of accessory after the fact, there's the reception of the property as one accessory after the fact, and then each usage of the phone is 2 different accessory charges.
So you got, what's important is you got 3 accessory charges in total. What those things are about taking receipt of the car and the phone, and then using the phone in manners that help Justin Johnson evade law enforcement. He's pled guilty to all 3. He's agreed to be a range 2 offender, even though he's actually a range 1 offender. So he's agreed to a sentence between 2 and 4 years on each one, even though if he went to trial on those charges, he wouldn't get that much time. It would be between 1 and 2 years. He's also agreed that they're all consecutive to each other. So his total exposure is 6 to 12 years on the 3 charges. Sentencing is pending.
What did he agree to range 2 and not range 1?
It's a product of negotiations between the parties. It's not atypical.
One of the outstanding questions here is the motive for the actual killing. Can you discuss that at all at this point? Simply money or something else?
I can't comment on anything on the record. Can't remember whether or not our indictment gets into the motive or not. But I think there probably will be some information forthcoming about that sooner.
We're doing a members only
I remember
live
you said
tonight
in
by
there
Capricorn.
that he had said that he did see there was payment to Justin. Do we know where that
Discuss in
payment
the
is
book
coming
club.
from, or who did he receive that from, or is he saying that?
Pause it, Tam, till your damn likes go up. They in here. It's 300
All
over
right,
300.
everybody. See everybody.
Y'all run them likes up.
A lot of
Run 'em
information
up.
this morning in the case of the
Right.
Youngdolph murder. And it sounds like, and one of our producers is telling us, it sounds like his bond's been lowered to $25,000, which means he could probably bond out since you pay about 10%. We'll confirm that with Jeremy shortly, though.
Right. That's something that we had been expecting.
Mhm.
We had also been expecting this plea deal as well. And you heard there that Jemarcus Johnson didn't get anything in return for this, that he could potentially testify in the upcoming trials of the alleged gunman, Justin Johnson, Cornelius Smith, and also the alleged mastermind, Hernandez Govan. So that is a possibility.
It sounds like a pretty good possibility, too, from what we're hearing. But again, if you're just joining us, Jemarcus Johnson, who is the half-brother of one of the accused triggermen in the murder of Youngdolph, has agreed to plead guilty to lesser charges, 3 counts of conspiracy for taking
We
a
almost at
car, a
240
phone,
likes. Come on,
and
let's
using
run it
that
up. Let's get
phone
300
to
likes.
fake out probation
Keep
officers
hitting
about where
it, like
Justin
button. We're
Johnson
gonna
was.
pause it.
So those are Class E felonies. He could face a minimum of 6 years in prison. Sentencing
Right.
will be at a later date.
Yes, and we do know that he will be back in court August 10th. That is what the judge also said, that they're accepting the guilty plea today, sentencing delayed. He
Thanks,
should
Tanya, for
return
becoming a
August
member.
10th to court.
So we'll be right back, and we'll have more for you, wrap it all up for you soon. If you start your morning with us, we'll make sure you're ready for your day.
Brittany DeBose and the team of expert meteorologists in Severe Weather Center 13
I was trying to see if they was going to. I thought they were supposed to talk to
We've
Josh
got you covered on
Quarterman.
Fox 13's Good Morning Memphis, weekday from 4:30 to 10 a.m.
Lauren.
Y'all, I'm trying to find Josh Corman's interview because they interviewed him also.
Get them likes up first.
Get them likes up. Get the likes up.
All these folks in the bushes, don't nobody want to hit the like button. Hit it.
and hit the subscription button, and also, and thank you guys for your financial support of the channel. I appreciate that so much. And remember to get a membership. We're having a members live tonight for the book club. Let's see, Attorney Josh Corman. I'm supposed to be. I was getting ready to say where I was supposed to be. Let's see, just one interview.
Get the likes up. Hit the like button or hit the door. Cypress, where are you, my darling? Cypress, come out the bushes. I got something to talk to you about, Cypress. Thank you, Kimberly. See, guys, Tam been keeping it a buck with y'all for a year and a half. Everything that she said was going to happen is basically happening in that order. Thank you, who done it.
I'm trying to find Josh Corman's because they said that they were going to be talking with both the attorneys. They did show Paul. Hold on. Okay, so while I'm looking for that, I want to take you guys back to the beginning. It's always good to do that just for a few minutes. And I'm looking for Josh Corman's interview. This was the day that he was killed.
Good evening, everyone. So this afternoon, let me take my mask off here. This afternoon, the Memphis Police Department responded to a person shot at 2370 Airways Boulevard. Our preliminary investigation reveals the victim is Adolph Robert Thornton Jr. This shooting is another example of the senseless gun violence that we have seen far too often locally and nationwide. Too many families, too many mothers, too many fathers have suffered in our city. And quite frankly, I think we are all tired of it. Our hearts go out to the Thornton family and all who are affected by this horrific act of violence. Tonight, we strongly encourage everyone to stay home if you do not have to be out. We also strongly encourage everyone to remain calm as we actively perform our investigation. The Memphis Police Department is providing an increased presence in areas of the city that might be directly impacted by this unfortunate incident. We are committed to working with the community to stop these senseless murders. We're also dedicated to bringing those responsible for today's shooting and others to justice. We encourage anyone who has any information about this incident to call Crime Stoppers at 901-528-2274. Let me say that again, 901-528-2274. Now I'll take a few questions.
Chief, should there be a curfew put in place? We had at least one city council member and one state representative call for a curfew, fearing that there could be retaliation. Do you think that's a good idea?
Well, we're taking all of these requests into consideration, and we're continuing to communicate with our city officials and evaluate the situation so that we can make the best decision. And it doesn't mean that we won't have a curfew at some point in time, but right now, we think that the deployment of our officers in the specific areas that are impacted the most will be enough presence for tonight. And as I said before, we are encouraging everyone to stay in if they don't have to be out.
Have you had any incidents or shootings that you might think are related to what happened today with the Youngdolph?
Well, we have investigations that are going on right now, and the Memphis Police Department, along with our federal partners, will look at every investigation and every piece of evidence to try to solve this particular case. We can't say for sure that it's associated with anything else at this time.
There have been some circulating on social media about this shooting here, this rapper's house, this restaurant. And we understand, was any of that accurate or true?
Well, I haven't vetted all the social media. There have been erroneous posts on social media, and what we're trying to do is monitor the facts and ensure that we provide the facts to the public as well. So what we see on social media may not be accurate.
Have you given a suspect information? I know it happened in the middle of the day.
We are still speaking with witnesses. We do have witnesses that are communicating with the police department right now.
Is there any video footage?
We don't know for sure just yet. We are checking every camera, every piece of footage that could be in the surrounding area to help us further this investigation.
You mentioned increased police presence at
Yes.
areas of concern. Club Privé, Yogadi's Club. Is that an area of concern? Is it open? Is there extra security from NPD on that scene?
Don't know if that particular location is open, but any location that might be affiliated with anyone that has a connection or we think could potentially have a connection, our officers are providing presence, and that is including the area where the shooting took place as well.
How many times he was shot?
Can't say that right now.
What can you tell us behind the motivation of the shooting?
Just don't know. This was a shooting that occurred at a cookie shop, and we're just not sure what that motivation was, and it's a little bit too early for us to tell.
Last question. Do you know if he was inside the business or outside, if he was buying cookies, visiting? There's talks that he had just delivered some turkeys during a charity. Can you just talk about what you know about his movements at that time?
Today, the victim was inside the business, and we can't say that.
One final question. At the crime forum, Chief, you talked about intervening in case there is a fear of retaliation among gang members and different gangs in Memphis.
What she knows, she says that, of course, this was an act of senseless violence, and she says that they don't have a motive at this time. But as far as any
Well, I wanted to take it back to the I was trying to figure out where that was coming from. I wanted to take it back to the beginning because it's always good to go back, to the beginning, to see how far we have come. And she had said from day one, okay, that it was fast moving. And I want to show a couple more things. Josh Corbin hadn't spoken yet, from what I could see.
Shit on with retro Jordans and Air Force Ones and Dunks and shit. I just want to know who taught y'all that. Question. I just want to know who taught all y'all rappers how to put the designer shit on with retro Jordans and Air Force Ones and Dunks and shit. I just want to know who taught y'all that. Question.
It's Dolph. Dolph said he just want to know. You guys make sure y'all hit the like button, okay? Hit the like button. I wanted to show one more thing. It's just where we were, how far we've came, and the tragedy that brought us to this, the senseless tragedy, okay? And I try not to get emotional when I show this scene, but it's very significant, okay? I always get very emotional.
There you go. It's the medical examiner that's being escorted. It's a medical examiner.
His body was in that. Those were some of the unmarked cars, and the feds was out there that day.
And the car. Get the car. The car.
It makes me sad because they just weren't happy until they killed him. And the mere fact that he came from nothing and he was extremely happy. I grew up in South Memphis, so it's always awesome when you see somebody come from nothing and be proud and then be selfless enough to try and put other people on. You got all of these talented rappers that come from Memphis and the energy that they put out into the atmosphere and the people that they put on social media to try and assault anybody that just wanted to put the truth out. When they see how young African American men are consistently losing their lives, and then not only did they tear up Youngdolph's life, they put their people on social media to try and assault other people cyberly and tear up their lives. And so to see him, that's the reason why I was determined, no matter what, all of the assaults that they had people to commit against me, that I was going to stand firm and I was not going to stop. I was going to always tell the truth, no matter what. And it makes me happy to see that it's happening exactly the way that I said that it would happen. And I'm still not going to stop. So the fact that he is getting justice in totality, as I always said that he would, it makes me extremely happy. That's the reason why when I see Jemarcus up there, I ask God to protect him so that he could get back to court and do what is necessary. I think that it's sad to kill a human being and then put into the atmosphere the type of hate and the type of energy that they put into the atmosphere, regardless to who it was, whether it was rappers or producers or whoever was involved. They have a responsibility to the people that help to make them rich. And ever since this happened to Youngdolph, that demon of murder has been released within the city of Memphis 3 times. And that's the reason why I know, as my mother always say, don't worry, God gonna come passing through. And he has to come to get his retribution.
Yes, ma'am. Tam, I just want to say this. I just want to thank you for your dedication. I thank you for your honesty. I thank you for being passionate about this case and Dolph's artists, pre-artists, Dolph's family, his children. And not once did you ever try to steer anybody the wrong way. And yes, you have endured numerous attacks and assaults on your character. And like I told you before on one of our personal phone calls, all chickens come home to roost. So you just sit back and you keep doing what you've been doing because you've done nothing but put the truth out. So while all these other people have capitalized and gained financial, uh, have gained financially off Dolph's name by putting out bullshit and attacking you, I hope that subscribers or just viewers of YouTube that have tuned into these capping channels, that now that they can finally decipher what is real and what was BS all along. So I personally want to thank you. And I know that you have a lot of people that are subscribed to you that are going to rock with you, and they have rocked with you. And, you know, you just a woman of great character and integrity. So that's what separates you from the rest of these capping, thirsty, do anything for a dollar bloggers. It's the integrity. And I personally, once I find that a person has no integrity, I can't rock with you. I have to separate myself from you. So you know who your real ride and die people are. You know your day ones. So like I said, Dolph is getting justice, and it's in progress.
Yes, it's in progress. It won't be long now. It won't be long now. If you listen, I took y'all back to Chief Davis because Chief Davis said that it was fast moving, and we have witnesses. And if you listen to them, he was able to, I don't know if they tricked him or not, because sometimes they'll, you never know. He picked his brother out. And people forget when they were saying that the Memphis police was involved. Cornelius was arrested not even a month. He was arrested not even a month and was never let out. Hadn't been let out since then, even though they got him on some type of driving charges. They had been watching him. And evidently they was afraid that he was gonna flee. So they was able to stop him on a driving charge and get him in jail. Okay, to keep him from fleeing until they got their paperwork right.
Mm-hmm.
Until they got their, what they needed to be able to charge him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they would have got the correct people if they were involved. Well, I'm talking about the investigators.
And we also have to keep in mind that we just heard a portion of what Jemarcus's role was and what he knew. We can't even begin to imagine what Quet's testimony was, right? We know that it is probably Jemarcus's testimony times 24 to the 23rd power, right? So we know that he gave substantially much more evidence or testimony. than what Jemarcus was able to provide them. And Paul said that Jemarcus helped them, 100% helped them. So, we know that Quet probably was just the icing on the cake. Also, I see a lot of comments about pre-Unc. And I guess Tam, can speak for herself, but I think she said earlier she didn't really want to touch on that. But just to clarify, it is not pre-Unc. So I just wanted to say that because I think I saw Steven said it was Big Unc from Pre. It is not Big Unc from Pre. It's another person, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I can't, go any further with that. But I guess Paul Hagerman or the courts will eventually release who that person is.
Yeah. And you heard him say they're playing chess. And what did he say? We're setting up our pieces. And that lets you know when they talk, he could have said that Govan at that point, if people was listening to him, when they said, well, where did the money come from? Remember, they initially charged Govan with that. He could have easily said, well, it came from Hernandez Govan. As I said, Govan was not the person that paid for that hit. Remember, he said that he couldn't talk about that. If Govan has already been charged, he could have said that.
That's right. Because what would it had hurt him to say it was Govan since they already naming him the mastermind, right?
Right.
And he's already got his he's already been indicted. So, it wouldn't have been nothing for him to say that it was Govan. So obviously it's someone else.
Well, Steven says, no, I said Big Unc from Pre is not the Unc they're talking about. Rest in
Okay, I
peace,
didn't see you say that. I just saw you say the Big Unc and Pre is locked up.
Rest in peace, Youngdolph says that dude is from Memphis, and Unc, he won from Memphis. Well, from what I see, he ain't Big Unc though. Oh wow. Well, I'm sure he gave the name of the
Yeah.
Unc.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
know who it is.
they know who it is.
These comments been killing me, Tam, girl, because I think that'll put a smile on your face if you'd have read some of them, girl. They've been roasting Cypress. Ooh, they've been roasting Juke. They've been roasting all of them CMF Fruity Pebbles.
Yep.
But this is a day of celebration. It really is. And I'm just so happy that Dolph's parents and that Mia J and his family could at least experience and get some sense of gratification that the case is going to be finally moving on, and especially in a direction of other people being arrested.
By Capricorn says now they need to pick up who wanted me dead, wanted Tamara dead.
Yeah, that would really be my favorite frosting. My frosting that I make out of cheesecake. Cream cheese frosting. Yes, indeed.
Thank you, Gerald, for the cash out.
And I'm gonna tell you guys something, and this is just to go back to Tamara. When Tamara first started talking and blogging on Dolph, she never dreamed that these men on here would come to attack her. But I'm gonna tell you guys something. We said from day one, the whole thing was always about steering the narrative and placing blame on Dolph's artists. And for anybody that ever believed that Dolph's artists would have had anything to do with his demise, need they doggone heads examined. But see, the whole thing was to always get people confused, right? So that's the object of the game, is to cause mass confusion. But when things start coming out like they did today, I think it puts everything back into perspective and puts everything properly in its place so that the general public can finally get back on track and erase out of their minds all that everybody else that was capping trying to brainwash them with. That's all I want to say. Because they was definitely trying to brainwash you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to piggyback off of Dima, I never thought that I would be attacked by these men, and it was more than one man. It was. I think a couple of them fell back once we started to figure out who they were initially in the beginning, but it was more than one. And they had some women helping them in the beginning.
Yeah. Girl, they have called everybody up on a panel from Dolph's fake uncles to Cornbread's fake daddy to fake witnesses. I mean, honey, it has been a three-ring circus. You hear me? And people like us, like subscribers and viewers, we're none the wiser because we all thought that initially and in the beginning, everybody had Dolph's best interests at heart. We also thought that they had Mia J's and the kids and Dolph's artists' best interests at heart. And we also thought that the man that supported Dolph and put him on and financially supported him, and I'm talking about Daddy O, we thought that these people had Dolph's team best interests at heart. But like I said, it's gonna all come out. It's gonna all come out, and it's coming out.
It is. It's coming out. That's what I thought too. I thought that everybody. I guess there was some not well. I wouldn't say naivety, but I thought that everybody had wanted the same thing. That's what I thought. Even when I would look at channels and I would go, oh well, that's not true. I never attacked those people. I was just like, well,
No, you
I'm gonna
didn't.
put out what I know, but I never attacked those people. So I found it weird when people would start attacking folks just because they weren't saying what they wanted them to say.
Yeah. And people have to realize that these very same vloggers were being paid by the very people that took Dolph out to spin these narratives. So, we have to realize that these people are agents of chaos, right? Because when you're able to cause mass confusion, then yes, you're Lord of Chaos. You're Lord of Chaos, and then you start demanding things from people. And when people don't follow your lead or repeat the same thing or the same bull crap that you're repeating, then you want to attack them. And you also want to attack subscribers that come in and ask vital and pertinent questions just for clarification, even if they are calling you out on your BS. So when I've read the comments and people start calling them out on their BS, they want to cuss them out and kick them out the chat, and then you're no longer. I'm putting you out my will. It's like, what is going on with this foolishness?
Thank
So
you,
that's
Ron.
why. Yeah, so that's why I say, I'm glad that I think now people are going to always, from this point forward, just stay and keep in tune with what the truth is, okay? Because in the beginning, they didn't milk Dolph's case, honey, for all that they can milk it for. They didn't milked it until they didn't come in, went in and out of consciousness. You know what I'm saying? They damn selves trying to spin all these damn stories.
Even my mother, people was plotting to file fake police reports on my mother.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Women.
Yeah. But
My
like I
mother,
said,
who has always been a sweet person, very non-judgmental and evangelist, has the sweetest, the best person that I've ever met in my whole life, selfless. Talking about my mother and talking about filing a fake police report on them just to try to get me off of here.
seeing rest in peace, Youngdolph. You see his comment, Tam? I don't even want to read it. I'll let you. I'm gonna say out of that. I'm gonna let you kind of navigate what you want to say and not say.
Okay. Ooh. I'll just put it up on the screen. I tell you.
But Tim, I'm gonna tell you something. And you guys, and I'm talking to our chat family and anybody that's tuned in right now. I'm gonna tell you something. Mental illness is in the eyes. Look at these people's eyes when they be up on these platforms, and they got to turn their camera off, and then you hear the whatever they snorting and smoking on, then they come back and that just makes them even more crazier, and the story just get crazier and crazier and crazier. Look at some of their titles. And I'm not saying this is not a blogger bashing session. I'm just trying to get you guys to understand that Tamara has kept the truth going from day one. If y'all look at some of these outlandish titles, it was the titles for me. The feds raid Glock's trunk and find Dolph's left shoe in his trunk of his yellow car. I'm like, I'm making that up, but I'm just saying that's how outrageous and outlandish and obnoxious some of these titles have been. And these people, and like I say, none the wiser, they go over there and they click on it and they see the title is retarded. If the title retarded, the content gonna be retarded. And that's why people come back so confused. Well, Tam, wasn't the Dolph's left shoe in Glock's yellow car trunk? I got that off so-and-so's page. It's like, you know what? Stop it. So the other day when Jemarcus thought he was going to go in there and say, hi, my name is Slim Shady. And yeah, all I did was drive him around. And thank you very much. And what time do I get to go home, sir? The DA was like, no, Slim Goody. No, Playboy, your Playboy card, your player's card been revoked. And it's going to be revoked permanently if you don't get up off of it. But now we see that Jemarcus got up off of it in the beginning. He picked his brother out. He picked his brother out of a lineup in the beginning, and nobody knew that. So now we see that the facts are starting to materialize and come to fruition. All of this stuff is coming to the light.
Absolutely. Rest in peace, Youngdolph. They were saying Jemarcus got up on the stand and he said that he helped, that Cornelius called Straight Drop for his money, and Straight Drop was supposed to go pick up the money, or went and picked up the money from somebody named Unc.
Yep. Yes, indeed. So UNC, Unc, you about to get dunked. They about to dunk you right into a.
They didn't say his whole real name, whatever that is, for a reason. But I'm sure Jemarcus told him.
Mm-hmm. But you see how they played that smooth in court, Tam?
Mm-hmm.
Paul Hagerman did not even ask him to clarify the government name of Unc because they already know who it is.
Absolutely.
And they didn't want to put that out in court records. And I'm gonna tell you something. Judge Coffey already know what time it was. He knew that government name was not going to come out in the proceedings today because they do not want whoever this Unc is to get on the run, get on the lam, right?
Mm-hmm. Notice Paul Hagerman says we putting our pieces on the board. We're making chess move because there was several people that did several things.
That's right.
Oh, hold on. Let me look and see your email. He sure said that. And he didn't want to touch at that point about
look, when Unc get picked up, guess what? Unc gonna talk too. Unc gonna talk too, because as soon as they get through throwing that 60-year sentence in his face, he gonna talk too. Blue Miss Muffin said Uncle B Cypress TV. That's why he MIA. Y'all comments got me on stitches right now.
I'm looking right now, Lauren Michelle. I'm looking, girl.
It's gonna come down to him. Gotti, Big Head think he that's why he traveling the world right now. He trying to find a landing spot. I don't think he coming back to the States no time soon. I'm telling you, Roberta, he done left me hanging, his girl on the panel. Cypress ain't even here to, put his 2 cents in. Cypress might be at Kamisha's house trying to eat meatloaf to unalive him. Ooh, Lord, Paul for the win. Yes, ma'am. There's a proverb that says, he may not come when you want, but he is right on time. Amen. Oh, y'all funny. Y'all got me in stitches right now.
Thank you guys for the Cash App. I appreciate it so much. All of the Cash Apps.
Did them likes go up? Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. Keep running it up because I know y'all thumbs are still working. Thank you, Frank. He said he ain't going nowhere. He was here when you had 100 subs and he was like the 20th subscriber.
All right.
He said, Juke just unfollowed Unc. Kiwan. Don't let me find out you what. Uh-oh. Juke just unfollowed somebody? Ooh. Y'all remember that old gospel song from back in the day? Can't you see the clouds gathering? Don't let it be too late. Better run to the ark before the rain starts. Yeah, they on the run, baby. No faking, because I just went to his Instagram and him and this thing moving fast. Both was following him. Oh, Lord Jesus. You sleepy by Capricorn, mama? You need a nap. Steven said Cypress is butt naked with one sock on and some prescription glasses from Walmart listening to Moneybag. Steven, you silly. Ooh, child. Snoozy Cake said, what's so funny? I had a back and forth with someone months ago on Facebook about this Dolph thing, and my initial comment was deleted and makes sense with who the person was affiliated with. Ah, now you got you got your third eye working, Snoozy Cake. That's all I ask of you all. Use your third eye. That's funny, Stephen. I just that comment just took me out. He got one sock on. Lord have mercy. Better run to the ark before the rain starts. Can't you see the clouds gathering? Kimberly said, Stephen, you need to go to the corner. You on time out. Rest in peace, Youngdolph. I normally read your comments, but this is kind of sensitive, and I'm just not gonna do that. I'll let Tam decide if she wanna highlight it or whatever. Cause this Memphis, at this point, this is really, really Memphis business. I just been a hanger on her. It's getting serious now. It's serious now, baby. I mean, it is the day of reckoning, baby. This today was the day of reckoning. Thank you, Rhonda. I was wondering if somebody remember my old gospel song from back in the day. My brother used to when they march in the church and do they march down the aisle, they would get up in the choir stand and sing that song, and they sound so lovely singing it. Who is 2023? Who is I don't know who 23 is. It's gonna come out, y'all. But one thing for sure, Paul Hagerman wasn't getting ready to say his government name. Yes, Ramona, that butt is grass, baby. It's damn near like they got grass seeds stuck to their butt now. And the feds is a lawnmower, yes, ma'am. Lauren said, baby, I got on IG and investigated so fast. Miss T, do you need a partner? She talking about you need a partner for your investigative firm.
Girl, you might could do something. I'm looking at something right now.
Thank you, Rhonda. I'm glad that I ain't the only old head gospel person up in here. Yes, she did, Kenny. Miss Tam, you said God has a way of unraveling things. Yes, she did say that.
Yes, indeed.
Don't worry, y'all, because whoever this unk is, when he get picked up, guess what? He gonna try to cop him a deal too. He gonna cop him a plea too. Trust and believe that. Uh, uh, Cornbread and Knucklehead, the only two that's down there not trying to save theyself. Shit, that's like staying on the Titanic playing the violin until they go up underwater. That's what they doing. They still playing the violin.
Lord have mercy.
And you got Big Head and and Thotty Thot on their own on the run tour. Girl, this is just
Daddy Bear said he think Unc is Juke. I don't know. One thing for sure, Paul Hagerman, and see, I do know when if somebody say I know the person's name is, let's just say Unc, they'll say, okay, what's his real name? Well, I don't know his real name. Okay, well, where he lives. Where does he live? Because you know they have all of these folks, if they've been in and out of the system, their aliases in the computer. Well, you know, he known to hang out with this person. What's his affiliations? They can pull up a person, you know, by their affiliations and their moniker, which is, you know, whatever their the nickname is or whatever. So but he probably knew the name just right off.
yeah. But see, you know, he didn't have to get in court and do all of that. You know, they probably already gone over this testimony, right? So once he got into court today, that was just for the record, right? And it probably was already established. They probably already established the fact that Unc's government name would not be said in court. Ooh, girl, I tell you, honey, I mean, when I say I got goosebumps, I've had just an array of emotions this morning. Goosebumps, praise, sadness, happiness. You know, it's just an array of emotions just kind of rolled into one. And I tell you, Dolph is definitely spinning, and God is spinning on his behalf for real, for real.
Yeah. Absolutely. Definitely working in the spiritual realm. And as I've always said, when you call yourself going to take somebody out of here to take away their power, you're actually giving them more power than you, because they ascend to another realm.
Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna tell you guys something too. Now, sometimes, like, if they say "unk," that could have just been whatever nickname that they just decided to say in the court, right?
That's true. I thought about that too. But
Yeah,
you notice they didn't really want to say names, because even with Cornelius, they said C.
yeah. So they don't necessarily have to say bro. He could have said bro. He could have said unk. He could have said TT or papa, paw. You see what I'm saying? So maybe that's just the code name. It's like a covert name, right? Or nickname that they're giving the next person or the next co-defendant that's coming up, that's coming down the pike. So I'm just saying that because I don't want people to get too caught up on the UNC, because maybe that's just something that they came up with as a covert, just as a way to kind of shadow the identity of the real perpetrator that I think that is going to be arrested soon. And that's I can't see them not arresting them, right?
Recipe said, no, they talking about Keywan.
I can't say it. I can't. Y'all can say it. I can't say it. Okay. Marcus the barber said, I just told y'all who Unk is. Okay. All right. Don't chop my head off.
Well, we don't know, but we sure that we sure the prosecutors know, because he told them.
Hey, Catalea.
Hey, Catalea. I am She Johnson said, my spirit feels good that Dolph family is getting justice. Absolutely.
But can I ask one question? Is he in the free world, or is he locked up already?
Who this person?
Yeah, I can't say the name, but
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I actually asking, rest in peace,
Rest in peace, Young
Youngdolph.
Dog. They say he brick gang.
He is locked up.
Oh, he's locked up? Oh, wow.
We're not talking about pre Unk Marcus, if that's who you talking about. We're not talking about that one. I'm talking about the one rest in peace Youngdolph is talking about. Right, true. That's what I was gonna ask. Oh, he out. He not locked up. They lying, Miss T.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Marcus. I think you confused Marcus. They're not talking about pre-Marcus, pre-Unk. And for the record, nobody in pre had anything to do with this.
Galileo said, whoever it is, they somewhere getting their tattoos removed.
Yeah. It sure is, Roberta. Rest in peace, Youngdolph. Your word is bond with us.
But I'm telling you, when I heard him say, it's a chess game, and we just putting our pieces on the board. We playing chess, because it was, what did he say? Did he say several people or many? He said it was many people involved with many different. What did he say?
He said it was several people that did many different things.
Yep. And he said, we're putting our chess pieces on the board. It's chess.
Tam, do you think that they're gonna put Jemarcus up somewhere? Because I don't think he need to go back to his family home.
I don't think so either. I hope that they put him up. I hope that he don't even, he's hopefully they'll put him somewhere. They'd be crazy to be sending these little dudes out to go try to do something when I'm sure this stuff he's told whoever he told on, they up under surveillance as we speak and probably already have been. They'd be crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's two down and have many more to go because we got Quet for to take the stand and Jemarcus will take the stand. So that's two in this case that's taking a stand that we know of.
Even though he looked nervous, I still believe that he was relieved because he stretched, didn't it?
Girl, didn't he stretch? And you can notice
he didn't look like that the other day, did he? When he walked out of there because he was going to make a big mistake.
No, he stretched today. And I noticed that when Judge Coffey was communicating with him, he was very alert and he was astute as to what Judge Coffey was trying to convey to him. And he was very engaged, right? You could hear him going, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I say now, wouldn't it be nice if all black men could address each other that way, and not just in front of a judge in a courtroom?
Yeah. It wasn't no ebonics or nothing. It was yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Direct dictation.
He was talking to him. He was engaged. He was mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I said, okay, baby. Yeah, because guess what? Anybody try to get in his ear and try to dissuade him from giving his testimony or sticking to his guns. And I'm gonna tell you something, guys. Whether he told on straight drop or not, can't nobody help straight drop at this point. So he may as well have said a told on him just to save himself.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I could tell on straight drop and it wouldn't say. I could say straight drop was in at the carnival with me, right? They be like, no, sorry. Because they got so much footage. Don't think they ain't got no footage. They got everything. And they got cell phone records. And this fool got the phone pressed up to another phone so straight drop can talk to his probation officer like he in Memphis. They thought, see, when you think you're the smartest person in the room, that's what happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, hey bro, I'm gonna need you to take the phone and put it up to the other phone and like I'm in Memphis. And the probation officer didn't know no better.
Big Boy says, I hope straight drop told him to save himself. It would be selfish, especially if he didn't have any planning of it, if he did not, he called himself just being loyal to his brother. They said he lied to straight drop's probation officer and said that he was still in the state when he had actually got on the run right after he killed Youngdolph. And what else did they say he did?
And what about the car?
Oh yeah, he helped him to get a car, right? Or they said it was another car. They said so much. They said it was another car. He helped him to get away in another car.
Girl, he got helped him get away in a Batmobile. Yeah. Girl, shoot. They thought they was in the Batmobile. What's that car that dude used to drive? The Night Rider? Girl, they was in the Night Rider. Thought they was going to blast on into outer space. I wonder what's the other car they was in, though. So he's not talking about the white Benz. What other car it could have been? That black junk that girl said? Tam?
It could.
Remember she said it was a white car and a black car?
She said it was 3 carloads full of them.
Yeah.
That pulled up on that lot. She didn't say anything about the cars on the other lots.
Mm-hmm. What? See, I don't know what unk y'all talking about. I'm getting confused. See, that's why you want to talk about the unks, because it's like y'all talking like 2 different unks. I don't know. But yeah, it was a car that he took to him. So who took the car over there by Desmond Rogers? What car was dropped off over there by Desmond Rogers? The white one, right? Tam? Can y'all hear?
It was the white car. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Rest in peace, Youngdolph down there having a field day.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Ramona, they thought they got away. Yay.
I tell you, this is something.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tam, I have to give you your flowers, honey buns. I am proud of you for keeping your foot on their necks, staying dedicated, and always keeping rest in peace, Youngdolph's legacy and keeping his name alive, truthfully, honestly.
Thank you. Thank you. And the thing of the matter is, rest in peace, Youngdolph. Check your messages. And the thing of the matter is, like, the people have known what has happened the whole time. These people basically incriminated themselves. They finally got some players to solidify their case. People, I wasn't getting on here saying anything that the folks didn't already know. And so what they do is that they wanted to incite fear and stuff. And every time they start threatening people and things of that nature, they lead a trail back to them. They can't disguise themselves.
Mm-hmm. So what you think is next, Tam, on the what you think is coming down the pike now?
I don't know. Paul Hagerman says they making chess moves. He said, and we're putting each piece on the board. That's what he said. And like I said, I just found it interesting. I'm glad that was a very astute question that that young lady asked. It was the last question about, okay, where did they get the money from? Okay, where did the money come from? And you could tell the way he answered that question, wherever it came from, they know where it came from. He said he can't answer that.
Woo!
He could have just said, I don't know, but he said, I can't answer that.
Yeah, see,
I
that's
talk about that.
chestnut checkers. He ain't gonna get on national TV and say, well, I think Juki draws and watermelon head. That's where it came from. He ain't gonna do that. But they know.
Yeah, they know. So, hopefully, Jemarcus, where he said the judge told him to be safe, right?
He sure did.
He watched his surroundings, and I pray that God puts a hedge of protection around him so he can come back to court and do what is necessary. But they got what they need. He has gone on record. They'll be crazy to go over there and kill him. They don't know. They didn't talk about everything that he had told them. They would be some damn fools to go and try and take out anybody, knowing that they've been up under surveillance before they ever even knew it. They conversations and all. They burner phones and all.
Mm-hmm. Well. Look what the cat drug
Cypress
in. Hey,
finally made
Cypress.
it.
You just got back from court, huh? Cypress, where you been? Man, we thought you was like Steven said, you was sitting somewhere with one sock on, or over there eating some meatloaf or something. They said it was a Mustang. The other car was a Mustang.
Catalina said all that harassing and hacking they did to people knowing OJ did it.
Right, Catalina. You just pulled up, huh, Cypress? I think so, Steven. I think Rico is next.
I
So
think
you
Rico
notice,
is already in town. I think Rico been visiting for a long time now.
yeah. But you notice how they got them two out the way, right? So I think the next batch is going to be on the Rico.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Joy Loves God says, Cypress, what airport you at? Ramona says, Cypress been in the woods. You missed a lot, Cypress. You wasn't up late night carousing. You would know what's going on. Just get up. Who wakes up at noon? Been up all night on that carousel. You just waking up and missed all the good stuff. Y'all know who they talking about, so hey, I'm gonna let y'all have it. Y'all sound pretty sure.
Yeah, because they mentioned 3 people. So
yeah, they did.
But whoever it is, I'm sure that they know exactly who it is.
Hey, Michelle Johnson. Yes, she has. Nika says you've been a true soldier for justice for Dolph.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Jeff Lee said, remember, dispatch said the 2 responsible fled in a white Mustang. Cypress wakes up at noon. I guess you do after being up all night. We got to remember Trayon and Devin played some role too. Yeah, they're going to be included. That's what the Rico going to be for. They're going to pull them all together. See, I think they trying to give Jemarcus and Quit the state time, or the state, just let it remain on the state side. And I think the rest of them are going to go on the federal side. Now, that's my opinion. I could be wrong. Don't shoot me. It's just my opinion. I think that Quet and Jemarcus cases will stay on the state side, and I think the rest of them are going to be included on the federal side.
I really want to drop the link. What you think?
To
let people
send it to who you want to send it to, Tam, like you've been doing.
Okay.
Y'all get the likes up too, please. I know it's people in here that have not hit the like button. Steven says Cypress flying Allegiant or Spirit to London. Cypress, she'll probably send it to. Can you check your wherever she sends it to? Roberta ready to get at Cypress. She said, let's Cypress up.
Send me a message on my like page on Facebook so that I can because for some reason it seems like it's better when I send the link on social media rather than email and dropping in the link.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Diane said she want to come up.
She said, drop it. Yeah, when they get up here, Tim, I'm gonna hop down and listen in because I gotta, get my I got a long day tomorrow. I got a class tomorrow in the morning on a Saturday. I'm like, these folks are trying to work my nerves.
I know. Okay. I figured you would be tired. So
I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna still be listening in. I'm gonna hang tight till they come up, unless you cool. You cool with me dropping right now till they come up?
Go ahead. I'm cool.
All right. Love you guys, and
love you too. Thanks.
Once again, justice for Dolph, and keep y'all third eye open and stop taking all this foolishness into your spirits and your ear gates. Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Y'all send me a message. Y'all know where to send so that I could have on my like page. And Miss Diane, you know my like page. So that I can know your because I feel like because such a big break in the case, I really want to hear what you guys have to say. What's up, Cypress?
What's going on?
What's up? So what you think about this?
What I missed it. What happened?
Jemarcus got up on the stand today and told what his part was.
Oh, I missed. I ain't been long woke up.
Yeah, he told what his part was. He was on the stand today, and he says that that Cornelius called Straight Drop and asked for his payment, and Straight Drop was supposed to get the payment from somebody named Unc.
Oh snap!
And I don't know. We don't know who Unc is. They didn't because we don't know who that is.
This about to get.
But the district attorney know who it is. Y'all send me a message on my social media so that you guys I could give you the link. Because I don't know your social media page.
It's about to get bad. It's about to get bad. It's about to get bad, y'all.
Yeah, it's about to get bad. Well, I mean, Paul Hagerman says when they said, well, where did the money come from? He says, we can't talk about that right now.
Okay, know where it came from. Everybody, they know where it came from.
He said that it's a chess. We making chess moves, and we are. He said we're making chess moves, and we're putting our pieces on the table. Hello,
Cypress. What up? Cypress, what up, baby?
CMG Steven, what's going on, man?
Hey, man. Don't even try, Cypress. Don't even try, bro. Hey, Cypress, how you been today, bro? Hey, anything happened, Cypress? Anything I have to know about?
I just woke up, so I'm just trying to get brought up to speed of what's going on. I just popped in.
I ain't your brother.
Uh-huh.
I ain't your brother. Not today.
Yeah, I just popped in, man.
So, Steven, what you think about this situation? What's your whole take on it?
Man, T, listen. This is the funny part about all this is that when something happens, they want to go to unfollowing each other on social media and it's like the fans are not watching. Like it's kind of late for all this stuff. I mean, and I salute you. I know earlier I thought you were playing a video that was old. I thought you were playing something when Dolph died, but to just hear the passion and the intensity and I salute you for continuing because there's a lot of mess on the internet. A lot of lies being told. And I listened to Old Boy last night, and it's just like some people can start off right and then they just veer off into crazy stuff. You never did that, so I salute you. and I appreciate you for staying the course.
Thank you.
To answer your question, though, I think that they, like you said yesterday or the other day, they thought this was going to be one of those things where, okay, we can hire somebody, let them eat the charges, and go on about our merry way. The feds are like, no. And you hired, and it's not that they hired some cowards. It's just that God is like, no, y'all not going to get away with this. And so they played a part in it, but we're going to get the major players. And it boils down to, was it worth it? Like you asked, was it really worth it? The answer is no. It's always going to be a resounding no, and they're going to have to suffer, and they need to suffer. Like I said, I don't root against black people, but I'm rooting against these folks because you tore a family apart, and now your family's going to be torn apart all because of jealousy and envy and hatred that didn't ever have to get this far. And today, just another example, man, you know what? The court system is not playing. Like they might take a long time, and we might not want to be patient, but when they get you, they come in with everything, and there's nothing you can say or do. They put all the pieces together. They crossed every T, dotted every I, so you can't lie. You can't. And I don't even feel bad for what's about to happen to him. I don't.
I don't feel bad either. So do you think that do you think that they know that Jemarcus told them who everybody was? You know, as far as those monikers that they were using.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Jemarcus got a weed charge. This man ain't, man, he, as soon as they said 15 years, he was like, hey, man, look, like, he pointed out his own brother. If he gave up his own brother, he pointed out everybody else. Your own blood? No, the guy ain't took them, they ain't blood. They just know each other. So I think you could tell he kind of regrets it. And like you said, I didn't see his family in court, but they probably told him, hey, look here, I know you love him, but you got to tell the truth. And I'm glad he did. He would have had to. And anybody who got told on, guess what? He wouldn't have said nothing if you wouldn't have done it. So you did it to yourselves. And I just can't wait for him to get Black Youngster because I saw his latest video and the stuff he said about Dolph in that video. That's like, man, I know who you're talking about. That's like they just so disrespectful.
What did he say?
It was a line in the video where he said pulled out the chopper. No, he said hanging out the window, put out the chopper, and you still on your back or something like that. And I'm like, I know he's talking about Dolph because from what I know, at Makita's, Dolph did have a weapon, and Dolph's body was hanging out the window, and he was on his back. So he know you're talking about Dolph.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
Still talking, but they know it's over. Like they know it. There's nothing you can do now.
Yeah, he been talking about Dolph for the longest.
But he had every chance to stop those snipers. I'm finding out so much stuff. Dolph really wanted to end this thing years ago, and Black Youngster was like, no, they could have ended this years ago. And look where it's gotten. Like it just wasn't worth it, man. It just wasn't worth it.
It never should have went this far, especially when you're talking about rapping and battle rapping and all of that. I mean, it never should have got this far. Anything that, because rappers have always gone back and forth on the mic. What gives these rappers the right to think that they could take somebody out?
Man, them folks were really pushing for dude to die, like for real.
Yeah, you're right.
Them folks were pushing for that shit, and they really just fucked up the whole brand with that shit.
It's that he was losing so bad. Like it wasn't Gotti and Dolph. It was Dolph. Dolph was killing the whole label, like literally by himself. And now they trying to go ahead.
Well, after he exposed them, they couldn't. I mean, hey, man, he exposed everything. He exposed everybody.
Yeah, you're right. But they were still gonna make money regardless. Like it just like to have a good 2 or 3 year run, it wasn't worth it, man. Yeah, because I mean, now you want them paper route. Like I've listened to these recent paper route songs. Those dudes are sending warnings. They about tired of waiting. They about tired of waiting. And they better leave them alone.
Yeah, but they know the family. You heard Paul Hagerman say, I had a conference with the family last night. So the family knows before they even go to court. And so the artists know a lot more. I'm sure the family is communicating. Jay Fizzle is his family. So of course they're angry and they're mad. You know, it's everything is being confirmed what they already felt.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah, It about to be real. I think they probably start pushing out indictments no later than the morning. I would.
Saturday, and I don't know about Saturday. I'm not familiar. I don't think they can do it on Saturday, can they, T?
Yeah. If they go get them signed, they can go get them signed today.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes if you know, they've gone to, you know, a judge has to sign it. So they'll go to a judge house. They'll go find it. They'll call, can we get any judge? Any judge, will you sign off on this indictment? We got the evidence, we got what we need, and they'll go to a judge's house. Because when I was first working for MPD, I first started out working from 3 to 11. And those investigators, when they would get somebody to confess, they would get enough evidence. They say, call a judge, and the judges would be in bed. They say, he said he's willing to sign. Let's go to his house.
Yeah, these niggas is about to be in trouble. And now with the time y'all niggas hop on some plane to get out of here if you can and go.
Yeah, and they like Gotti in London. Like, it ain't like, come on, man. Really? Like, the feds can't get you over there. I don't know what Jill can. He got to be. You know who I think though? I really think. I think Kamisha going. I think she involved in this too. Like, she's been putting up all kind of TDJ stuff on her page. Too late for that. Don't do that.
She might need them.
Man, now her, I wouldn't. T, I know you're gonna hate this. Makita's. It's something ain't right about Makita's, T. I don't know what it is, but it's something like if you listen to Raven and her sister, they telling two different stories. You get what I really and who pointed that out to me? Who was that? Was it Demo Public? And somebody was like, I see you. Like they not on one accord. One of them saying one thing, one of them saying something else. It just don't sound right to me. Somebody knew something. I'm sorry, somebody did. So I'm sorry, they just did. In my opinion.
Raven,
I was ready to say, give me 1 second, Cypress. I was getting ready to say, if you know, and I know that's your opinion, and I respect everybody's opinion, but my stance has always been, you know, if these people have been talking, Jemarcus definitely would have said something. Orange Man quit. Why y'all think they haven't implicated anybody at the cookie shop?
Well, they haven't really implicated CMG, have they? And we don't know what it's all sealed. Who knows what they've told? And when they start picking people up, that's when I'll know. But like I said, Kamisha, I think she's scared. Raven, I've seen her. She's trying to get out of Memphis. She's pretty much publicly saying, "I got to get out of Memphis," almost every other day. Like, why you want to leave so bad? You get what I'm saying? You love Memphis, but 2 years ago, now you all of a sudden like it's gonna be some people implicated. Like this Unc dude. I feel bad for him. He looked just like Moneybag, just a younger. He looked just like this cat, just without the bow tie. I saw him and I'm like, he got to be related to them dudes. Like, it's some people probably involved in this that you wouldn't even imagine. And I don't think Cornelius was one of those shooters. Like, Cornelius ain't that tall. One of these shooters was over 6 feet. Period. The matter of fact, the main guy, the first guy, he about ceiling or he about 6'2", 6'3". That's not Cornelius. It's somebody else.
Right. No, I think it's Cornelius.
You think so? Cornelius ain't all them cats like 5'8", 5'9" though.
They actually ran the play on everybody.
I think she said, hold on, Cypress, but since she said, hold on, I'm going to deal with you. Now, as far as your CMG, and I can change my name in 2 days, so yeah, all that CMG Steven stuff out there. I'm going to need you to do something, Cypress, and I'm going to be serious. I don't know what your real name is. I don't even care. I need you to start using your common sense, brother. I know you affiliated with CMG. I know you cool with some of them, but man, they going down, bro. They going. So if you talk to any of them cats, tell them, hey, man, y'all might want to slack off on this talking because them boys are coming. Now, I ain't talking about the feds. I'm talking about paper route. Jizzle, money, Glock. You in and out of, you heard the song In and Out of Town, right? He ain't rapping. If you know what In and Out of Town mean, if you don't know what it means, you better watch Four Brothers.
Yeah, and Jemarcus said that Cornelius called Straight Drop about getting his money.
I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see who this dude is y'all talking about.
Kevon, I looked at
All
him.
we can do is speculate on who is. Like, if it's been like 3 or 4 names mentioned in the chat on who he could be, but I'm pretty sure whoever he is, they knew who it was.
Well, he
I'm
has
sure
to
I'm sure Jemarcus told him exactly who he was, because see, they have monikers. They have
Right.
monikers in their database. So what they did was they would be able to pull up anybody that goes by the name Unc or whatever,
Yeah.
and pull up their pictures, and they let Jemarcus pick him out. Didn't they say he picked out straight drop?
Yeah, they did. They did.
They say he picked out straight drop and said that, picked him out in the same clothes that he had on to go and do the hit that day, didn't he?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, like you said earlier, they probably, I ain't gonna say they tricked him, but you ask somebody a question and they ain't tricking. It's like, you know who this is? Yeah, that's my brother. I just asked the
I
question.
think that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. he looked half slow anyway. Like,
That's
I know
exactly what
he-
happened. When they put that picture in front of him of straight drop out there committing their hit, you know who this is. And don't lie, yeah, that's my brother.
like for real, like
What they had a picture? What they put a picture of?
Yeah, he picked him out of the lineup.
Oh,
ain't no way. You're black.
If he survived, if he survived the state prison, he's blessed.
But like T said, I wouldn't try nothing now. The feds are watching Quet and Jemarcus. You try something you want to, you be done. You have to be dumb to try something. For
Crazy.
what?
And I hope they don't send out these little dudes to go crash out, because what they're ultimately doing is they send them out to go do their dirty work. They really get sentencing them to life already, because they're not gonna get away with it. The feds watching.
Yep.
Right.
And it wouldn't matter because they testimony is sealed, so they really don't. Now, even as far as Quet, now correct me if I'm wrong, T. Even if something happens to him, this testimony is still gonna be used in court. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely. He went on record. Absolutely.
Yeah. So they can kill him all they want. They can hurt. It ain't gonna matter. They're gonna open that file up, and whatever he said, they're gonna he burnt somebody to the ground. I'll tell you that much now.
Yeah, it's got to get bad for them, man.
Black Capricorn, you're right. That's what in and out means. That's exactly what it means. In and out. Not burger either.
I'm trying. I don't know, man. I wish they wouldn't have went this far, but
Man, stop lying, sucker.
I mean, come on, man. Let's just keep it real. They ain't have to kill them, man. They could have made way more money going back and forth for all that route. Come on, bro.
You're right.
They didn't have to kill him, bro. They could have made way more money going back and forth on rap, man, than killing him. Boy, it wasn't beneficial, bro.
Well, Gotti was about done with rap anyway. Like, I mean, nobody was really checking for them. You see them now. You see like, who making money for CMG? Like, you see it, like they beefing with each other. Like,
Bag the only one really making go real.
he really ain't. Bag ain't making no money. Like like something going on with Mob Ties and BT. I can tell you that much. I don't know what it is. Something ain't right about all these dudes. Like Heavy Camp, like it's just a civil war. It seems like, and the guys.
They all bumping heads.
Yep.
They all.
But we knew this was gonna happen though. It go back to T. She said it. She said it. It's almost like the Tower of Babel. Like, you cats confusing each other. Just for no reason, just hating on each other, and you on the same label.
God don't like. Well, them niggas really. A lot of them niggas really ain't like each other from the start. They just want to make some money.
You might be right. I mean, now that you ain't making no money.
Gotti really divided them niggas on purpose because they was going hard on Gotti. Everybody except for Youngster, because Bag was over there with Young Mob, and Young Mob didn't really rock with. They can stand your guy, and Bag went over there to CMG, which he wasn't intended to go over there, but when he did, he really ain't had no control over his career because Head and Zebo and them signed him to Endless, so they kind of cut a back door deal with Gotti to make some money, because like Zebo was still juggling in between the NBA and the streets. He was getting caught up in so much, so they cut a back door deal with Gotti, and it really kind of threw a wedge between Moneybagg Yo and Young Mob, and everybody just got the bumping head behind me. Everybody got the bumping head behind me.
Somebody said earlier that Jay-Z told Gotti to let it go. I don't know if that's true or not, but if that's the case, and he did, then he really stupid. Like if I'm Jay at that point, if that's true, you would have to sever ties with him, because now you know that you're gonna be implicated in that.
Well, you know, the rumors that Jay-Z had fell back from him anyway, because Jay-Z actually liked Dog. And he
Hold on, Miss Diane. I'm so sorry. I just looked back at that.
Yeah.
She had wanted to come up to Miss Diane. Don't think I was ignoring you. I just wasn't paying attention.
I was just about to say that too. Miss Diane, I'm gonna let you deal with him, Miss Diane, because the Cypress needs some of that act right.
Here it go.
Miss Diane, I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. I just sent you the link if she's still in here.
Yeah, buddy. But I think it's all about to come crashing down, man. It had to.
Why did they move Straight Job's court date back? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
They moved Cornelius's back too. They probably got to regroup from, from that phone. I wouldn't be surprised if that lawyer don't drop that case.
I would. I mean, because there's no way to win. There's literally no way to win. None.
Yeah, you stuck, and then your brother just testified against you. You're done.
The public defender wouldn't even take that case.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Yeah, baby, I believe it. Hit the like button, y'all, because y'all know Miss T will start cussing. It's Friday too. She ain't got nothing to lose.
Miss Diane, I sent you the link. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but I don't know though, man. I think it's all gonna come crashing. I think Memphis gonna be lit up tonight.
You think so?
I hope not.
Man, it's Friday. Niggas is telling on everybody. Oh, the city finna be lit up.
But this is the thing, Cypress, and I've said this before. I'm gonna say it in a more diplomatic way. If you have this so-called street code mentality, you got to realize something. A lot of people saying they wouldn't do this aren't sitting in front of the feds. They aren't sitting in court. It's easy to say that when you're online. Nobody knows what they'll do when they sitting in front of a judge looking at 20 and 30 years. So it's all these studio, like what Master P's call them studio gangsters. It's like I can do a lot of talking online, but let me get in front of a cop. I might tell everything.
Right, especially when I tell you facing 40 and 50 years. That's a whole lot of this. You gonna, I don't care. Man, look here. Nigga gonna be like, man, what a pen and pad is. I think a straight drop went wrong there, but he tried to act all tough.
My bad. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
something going on my phone. What's going on? What is this?
You right though, Steven. People say anything till they get in front of the judge, especially when they facing 40 and 50 years.
Something going on my hold on. What is it?
Is they messing with your phone?
Oh man, them hackers trying to get my brother CMG Steven.
Well, I'm getting ready to end it anyways. I was hoping Miss Diane, I'm sorry if you see this. You sent me a message 15 minutes ago and I was on the phone. My phone was ringing and I just happened to look at, I had a message. So I really wanted you to come up. But Cypress, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back on later. Okay.
All right. I'll be back.
Okay, love.
Okay.
Okay, you guys, we've been on here almost 4 hours and I got some shaking and moving to do, but I definitely, I said earlier in my spirit, I was like, I just feel something in my spirit. I believe something is going to happen with Jemarcus in those conspiracy charges. Now, I thought they said that he's going back to court in August and they're looking at, getting rid of those conspiracy charges. I just don't, they have made it clear that he only helped after the fact. So I just don't see them letting him keep those conspiracy charges. And although they're saying Jemarcus didn't get anything out of it, we already know that he's going to get something out of it, because Judge Coffey did say that he's going to get a sweet deal, you know, even better than what he could have gotten, okay, for telling the truth. So he did the right thing. I just couldn't see him allowing that deal to go by him. I couldn't. But I'm glad that everything was turned around. God is in this. No devil in hell can stop the plan of God. Okay. I pray that God put a hedge of protection around any and everybody that is willing to do right, so that Youngdolph's family can get peace. Okay. They'll always have pain because their child was heinously gunned down. And then you had people trolling him, just like demonic forces. That's a demonic force to do something like that. That's not something humans do. So God is definitely not even pleased with that, right? But we thank God for moving this case ahead, and it's in the hands of God. And as Paul Hagerman says, we're making chess moves, and we're putting all the pieces on the table, because there was many people that did different things. Okay, like I had said before, I had been told before that there was probably about 15 to 20 people that had a hand in this. That, I mean, that's what I was told. So about 15 people rather. So a long time ago they said that 22 or 23 names was in that indictment. Just because a person is named, it don't mean that they played they actually did the killing. They just they was just named. They played some type of part. They knew about it. So and this was like last year, that I was told that. So they've been knowing what was going on, even when folks, some people may still have their doubts about Cornelius, but I was told, even when it was 2,000 pages, even before those 2,000 pages came out last year, someone had said to me, hey, I don't know how Cornelius gonna get out of it. According to what they have, I don't see how he was gonna get out of it. And I said last year that hold on, you guys. Hello? When I get off, okay? Okay, all right. Okay, you guys. I forgot what I was getting ready to say, but to end it, of course, Youngdolph it seems like, I believe that he's going to get justice in totality, because as Chief Davis, that's the reason why I played that. She said it's been fast moving, and they had witnesses. That's what she said, even in the video that I played. And I always go back to the beginning, because I like for people to, it's always good to go back to the beginning before all the the bullshit and stuff was put in the mix, to remember what the people who actually had the information said. And she said, we have witnesses, and it has been fast movement. She talked about social media. She was kind of vague about social media, but when she said we gotta scatter through a lot of what was on social media. Of course, they have to get subpoenas and things of that nature to get hard copies or whatever. So that's been since November the 17th. So I'm sure they've had all of that. So anyways, I'm happy to see that Youngdolph is going to get justice, but I always say this killing has to stop. This senseless killing. You can't kill people for money. You just can't do it. You can't kill people because you're angry at them. There are consequences. And when you bring in these little dudes and these young ladies who you dangle money in front of them, hopefully God will get through to them. Even though they might be out there crashing out, for them to see that people only using them to crash out because they don't think anything of them, right? And hopefully there'll be a change of heart with these people that's acting as devils that's doing this. You can't just take people's lives. That's evil to interrupt somebody's life just because you angry. That's a mental illness, right? That's an unstable person. And so my prayer is that there is a renewal of the mind within our community, because if this continues, then Black men are going to be extinct. Okay, so I think Jemarcus did the right thing. I asked for God to shield and protect him so that he can get back to court to do what is necessary. Truly repent for the part that he played in it. Apologize to Youngdolph's children and do what is right. And then if it be God's will, go on and live his life. Okay, because he was not a shooter. He wasn't. It looks like he was pulled in afterwards out of loyalty to his brother. And there are a lot of people that are loyal to their family members, right? So hey, we're just praying for the right things to happen, okay, in this case. But anyways, you guys, remember we have the book club tonight. So make sure you guys, if you don't have a membership, please get a membership. And I was supposed to be at court today. I was for something else though, not for that. Okay. For another case that I have. I was supposed to go be down at the courthouse. And I probably should have been, because I would have got all the action right. I probably should have had my cameras and stuff. But I'm gonna let the reporters do their thing, okay? And as I had said before, right? That I was told, and it looks like it's happening. They did not, but they felt like in a case this big, a lot of people was going to start pleading out. Okay, a lot of people was going to start pleading out. That was in the atmosphere last year. So we'll see. You know, as things start to happen, as things start to come to pass, we know that God is in it, because evil can't win, right? Evil can never override what's good, even though I just feel in my spirit it's a lot of low vibrational stuff that's going on in the spiritual. I mean, people are so, I'll say people are so low vibrational now that it's ridiculous. They've taken on the mentality of a heathen. People are not trying to rise to the occasion anymore. They're just content and being very low vibrational. And it's sad, you know. And I think about that. I was praying about that last night. I was like, God, I don't understand what's going on with your people, but people are just low vibrational and they're not trying to rise to the occasion. They're just riding with anything that's not right. Okay? They're just riding with anything that's not right. Hold on, you guys. Thank you, Gail, for the Cash App. Okay, I'm back. Thank you, Miss Gail, for the Cash App. But they're just trying to ride with anything. And people are trying to make wrong right. Okay, people are trying to make what they know is wrong right. And I don't understand it. Or when people are doing wrong, folks are so low vibrational and not rising to the occasions like they once were. When people are doing wrong, they go along with it. They're not saying, "No, bruh, I ain't with that. I can't get with that. No, I don't want no parts of that." Instead, even if they don't want no parts of it, they ain't saying nothing. Okay, so it's time for people to start again rising to the occasion. And once more people start rising to the occasion, and all of these people that don't want to rise up out of the slump and want to continuously have that low vibrational energy and things of that nature, see that they're being left behind, they'll stop a lot of this stuff. Okay, they'll stop a lot of it. Okay. But anyways, you guys, I appreciate you guys. I gotta go. I hate to get off, but I definitely gotta run. I want you guys to know that I appreciate you. I appreciate all the support on the channel. Make sure you guys are available tonight for our first meeting on our book club. Okay. I love you guys. I'll talk with you later.